Okay. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Yay for after Thanksgiving. Now we can dive into the true Christmas spirit.
Which is reading books.
Which is reading books. Exactly. It's all about reading books. So glad to see you all here. Thank you so much for tuning in live. We are so excited for the next couple hours. We are going to have a huge lineup of indie authors, so specifically indie authors who are just like us, just out there publishing their own books and changing the world one word at a time. So very excited. There's so many opportunities to support indie today on Small Business Saturday and throughout the weekend. We all have sales going on, and it's never a bad time to buy an indie book. No. So yeah.
And this is a great opportunity for everybody who's watching on all of our channels, because we're doing this for the first time, live casting in multiple channels.
Yes.
Is about learning about new authors that you haven't heard about.
Exactly. So right now we are joined by Kay. Yep, there she is. Kay's Hidden Shelf.
Hi.
Kay.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And Nico's book reviews down here, and we'll be joined
Hello.
Later by Andrew's
Wizardly
Reads.
Yep.
He's going to be joining us too. So
and plenty of others. Special guests.
Ah.
Phone
Sorry,
lines
guys.
are open now.
I'm so excited about this. I've been waiting for this so much. So yay. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you so much, Kay and Nico, for joining us live. And so I guess we'll dive in with the first two authors.
Let's have them tell us.
Oh yeah.
About themselves.
Yes.
We would love to hear about you and your channel.
Yes.
Go for it, Nico.
No one cares about me. We're here for indie books. Come on. But I'm Nico from Nico's Book Reviews. I do a lot of fantasy books, as you can see from behind me, probably. And yeah, I was excited to jump on here. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, but wanted to make sure to jump in for a bit. I'm excited because there's a lot of authors that are involved that I know and love, and then there's plenty of new ones too. So really excited to hear from everyone.
Yeah. How about you,
Awesome.
Kay?
Yeah, I'm Kayla from Kay's Hidden Shelf. Similar to Nico, I talk about books on my YouTube channel, mostly fantasy as well, with some sci-fi, historical fiction, and classics thrown in every now and again. And I love indie books. Ever since I found them, they've kind of taken over, as you can probably see. And I always love finding new indie authors and books to read. So I'm absolutely excited for this and to cheer on some indie authors and find some new reads.
Absolutely, yes. So before we move on, be sure to hit that subscribe button to all of our channels.
Yep.
And join us as we start talking with all these wonderful indie authors. A lot of them have their own channels as well. Be sure to be following them. So even if you can't afford them right now, I get it. It's our purses are only so big. But be sure to follow all of them wherever they are found, so that way you'll know whenever they're doing a deal again or when their next book comes out, because all of these folks are writing multi-epic things. So it's not just one book. And if it is just one book right now, that's just the beginning, right? Because authors we just keep spilling words. So
This is the way.
This is the way, exactly. So, so I guess we're going to start with pitching you our own books, because we are both indie authors. This is my channel, so I guess I'll start. I'm Patricia Meredith, and I am an author of historical fiction and historical mystery and cozy mystery. I have 3 series going right now. I have the Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries, which starts with Butcher Baker Candlestick Taker, and that is a historical fiction mystery set in 1901, and it follows a clockmaker who is inspired by sound and sound theory at that time, and then he discovers his patroness has been murdered, and he has to solve the mystery. And along the way, he crosses paths with some very quirky and fun characters, and it's all based on true history, so it's really fun. And then my second series that I started is Anna Katherine Green Mysteries. Starts with The Deed of Dreadful Note. Anna Katherine Green is an actual person from history. She is the mother of detective fiction. She inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the writing of Sherlock Holmes, and yet she published 9 years before him, and so she's a forgotten female of today. But she inspired Agatha Christie and so many. She basically changed the entire genre. So if you're a fan of historical fiction and mystery, definitely check that one out. And then my newest one is a cozy mystery, Death of a Christmas Tree Salesman. And it is starring Sam Shovel, who is a talking snowman. And he comes to life once a year at the North Pole and is working alongside Nick and Nora Claus to solve the mystery of Mr. O. Tannenbaum, the leading Christmas tree salesman who has been found murdered this year at Christmas time. So lots of fun things out there. My books are currently, all the ebooks are on sale for 99 cents, except for the newest one. That one's only $2.99. And so you can pick up the ebooks on sale. And then the Christmas book is also available in a special deluxe box, which comes with the book gift wrapped, a special peppermint soap that is shaped just like the cover. It's got like a snow globe on it and everything. Cookie cutters, hot cocoa mix, all of that. So it's a very fun box. And you can find more about that on our website, which will have links to all the authors' websites down below. So you can go check those out. And so that's on sale right now for a pre-order price of only $49.99. So it's $50 for the book and the soap and all of that together. And it's all gift wrapped. And it's been so much fun working with my kids to put those together. So, and then that price will go up after Black Friday. There we go. I just did that in less than a minute. All right. So that's me. This is my husband, Andrew D. Meredith.
Hello, I'm Andrew D. Meredith, and this is also my channel. Why? Because we figured out that we can link channels. So this is also Kay's channel, and this is also Nico's channel, and Andrew's channel, Andrew Wizardly. So I am an epic fantasy author. I have 2 series out right now. The first one starts with A Deathless Beast, which is this first book in the Collation saga. It's an epic fantasy story, a multi-POV story that follows a pair of mercenary siblings trying to make a quick coin, a paladin who's following his god, and his god calls him to become his champion while his order is collapsing, and then a young physician who just wants choice in her life, but her great aunt, who she's taking care of, says, no, you have to take care of me instead. And hijinks ensue when there's a man who's wearing a cloak made of bones that makes him invisible to the gods who he wants to kill, and they have to stop him. And then my other series starts with Thrace, which is the first book in the Needle and Leaf series. It's a Slavic fantasy about a man and a boy on the road, and the little boy has way too much magic, and everybody wants him. And so his father says, let's stop running. Let's just go straight up to them and ask them very nicely to stop. And again, hijinks ensue. So that's what I write. That's what I read. And really, I'm here because I can't wait to hear about everybody else's books. Yeah.
So we've got epic fantasy and mystery. We're going to have a lot of different genres popping in. A lot of fantasy authors, because we all love reading fantasy. Yep. So we'll have a lot of different things popping through. So right now we're waiting for our first author to come on. And then we will get going with that list.
While we're waiting for, I think JCM is going to be coming over here soon. If you want to tell us, what are you 2 reading right now?
Go ahead, Kay.
Sure. I'm a bit of a book goblin at the moment. Too many reads, and you know how it goes. So I'm halfway through the Voidwalker collection by Derek Bailey. I am also partway through with Rebirth, Divinity's Twilight from Christopher Russell. And as part of my SF-INCS reads, which is a novella championship similar to Spiffbo, I'm also reading Your Blood and Bones by J. Patricia Anderson. So book goblin, too many books, not enough time.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you reading Voidwalker. So I've been really happy whenever I see more people reading that. It's such a unique, different kind of book.
It's so good. It's like Clue and Black Mirror put together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a pitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really, all his stuff is super different. And like when I first talked to him about that one, I was so afraid. I'm like, I don't know that I'm gonna like this. This sounds so strange and not like what I read. And then I'm like, oh, this is really good. And so I really enjoyed it. And it's an interesting one to sell to people because it's kind of different, but it's one worth checking out, definitely. So
definitely agree to that.
How about you, Nico? What are you reading?
So I have been doing a lot of first chapters because I was doing a series of first chapters to try to make some space because I have too many books. And I'm moving my office to a different room soon because this room's going to become a nursery.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to clear some space.
Oh, really?
Did you guys not see that yet?
No.
Okay. That was Friday, I announced in a video, it was at the end, that my wife and I are expecting our first child in
All
June.
right. Congrats.
Congrats.
Yes, I probably should have also like posted something in Discord about it, but I did not. I left it in the video.
Awesome.
But yes, so I will be having to relocate everything, not far, just to a different room, because this room makes the most sense. So I've been doing a lot of that, and so I've been slow in my normal reading. I'm reading, which it's not in here right now, Flight of the Dark Star Dragon by Benedict Patrick, which is kind of a shorter one. It's one I did a first chapter for, and it just has a super weird premise that I'm like, this is interesting, where a magical sky ship that's flying through the air ends up crash landing in something called the Dark Star Dimension, where all these rifts from other worlds go. Trying to figure it out. So it's been an interesting one, a quick read. And then I'm listening right now to Fellowship of the Ring on audio, which has been lovely. It has been so long since I've read Lord of the Rings, so it's been really nice revisiting.
So speaking of sci-fi and fantasy crossing over, we would love to welcome JCM Burn. Hi!
Guys.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Yes.
Yep.
I can't tell.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you guys? I'm still full from Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And then I'm also even fuller from yesterday because we had leftovers. And that seems to be worse somehow.
Exactly. Right.
More, which makes no sense. It's fresh. I eat more a lot. And then the next day it's stale. So I eat extra.
That's right.
Right.
But
hey,
no.
my kid, yesterday we made turkey sandwiches for the kids, and we of course cranberry sauce and turkey and cheese, and then one of them wanted potato or sweet potatoes on the sandwich. The other one wanted stuffing on the sandwich. So it was literally a bread and turkey sandwich. Yeah. We're training them correctly.
Yeah. You're filling their glycogen in case they need to run a marathon tomorrow.
Right. Exactly.
They'll be all set. They won't hit that wall.
That's awesome.
So Joe, tell us about your amazing. Well, you've got 2 series now.
I do, well, I have a series and a standalone. Let's not get ahead of me.
Okay.
I had a whole pitch. I rehearsed this. I swear, I didn't really rehearse it. Okay, so I am JCM Berne. You can call me Joe because we're friends now since we're talking, one-on-one to everyone in YouTube land. And I just want to remind you of things that happened in the past. Do you remember like walking out of maybe, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok or even Avengers Endgame and just having this satisfied feeling that you had an experience that it's going to be meaningful to you. You had laughed. Maybe you'd even teared up a little bit here and there. You'd been excited. You'd seen some adventure. And maybe you've been seeking out those same constellation of feelings ever since then, but you're having a hard time finding it. Maybe some of the DC movies didn't quite do that for you. Maybe you saw Batman and you were like, wow, that was dark and it was gritty, but it didn't quite give me that same feeling I was looking for from those old Marvel movies. Old, right? The classics from 10 years ago. And how do I recapture that? Now, I would like to help you recapture that in a movie theater, but I do not have a $200 million budget. So I'm not giving you a movie that can give you that same set of sensations. I'm sorry, yet. I'm working on adaptions that it'll never happen, but I'd like it to. But I have written some books that I hope will give you some of those same feelings. And this is Wistful Ascending. It's shiny. And look, it's got a guy with a costume, just like a Marvel hero. No mask, though. He lets his face be exposed, and he's got lots of hair. And this is a book about a guy who's a retired superhero, and he's having adventures and stuff is happening. You don't really find out about his origin story. It's not a typical superhero story. You don't find his origin story, but there's a lot of action in here, and a lot of people thought there was some funny stuff, and there might be some places where you tear up just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. And this, I hope, can recapture some of the feelings you might have had when you were watching Thor Ragnarok. And if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, you've got the whole weekend. Go watch Thor Ragnarok. As soon as this stream is over, you've got time. So Wistful Ascending. Now, this is on for sale right now, ebook for 99 cents. And the sequel, Return of the Griffin, which I do not have, but as a same guy, giant shark behind him. Shark, okay? That's free this whole weekend. So you can get the first 2 books, which is half of the current hybrid helix this weekend for under $1 US. That's an amazing bargain. It's truly amazing. And we have giant monsters in this book. We've got talking bears. We've got sentient space stations and other ships which have personalities of their own. And yeah, if any of that sounds intriguing to you, look, of course, I'm going to tell you it's great because I wrote these, and that's my job. But if you aren't sure, read the reviews. Go to Goodreads, go to Amazon, look at the reviews, look at the ratings, get other people telling you what they thought, and don't trust me because most of you don't know me that well, and why would you trust me? That's fine. But look it up because I think a lot of people will appreciate this. And if that doesn't quite work for you, or even if it does, you might like this book. Now, you can buy this book without the not for resale bar. This is the only copy I have. It's an author's copy, so I got the little bar. And what this is, it's a mom of 2 children, and her daughters are kidnapped. And think the movie Taken, but it stars Michelle Yeoh instead of Liam Neeson, and she has magical powered kung fu, and she fights dinosaurs. So it's similar but not the same. And this is a standalone right now. There may be a sequel. We'll talk, but it's really a standalone. It's a complete story. It has an ending. You don't have to read like another book to figure out what happens. And this one's also for sale. It's not for sale. I mean, it is for sale. You can get all these books on Amazon. You can go to my webpage, jcmburn.com, and you can find links to them all. But you can just go to Amazon and put in the title is partial function. And to understand what that means, and true story, this title is from an element in the book, but it came from Andrew. Andrew Meredith, your host, gave me the idea to use this as the actual title for the book. The previous title wasn't great. And I kept complaining to him. And he said, why don't you just use partial function as the title, moron? He didn't say that. He didn't say. He was very nice about it. And I said, that's brilliant. I wish I had thought of it. But instead, I didn't. But he did. So that became the title for the book. And this is a lot of fun. And yeah. So this will be a thing you can read, but read some of their. It's harder to get the reviews on this because there aren't that many because it just came out. But you can read the ones that are there, and or just take a chance. Just get it. Just get it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll love it. The first chapter is free, so I have links up to the first chapter in various places. So you can read the first chapter if you like that. Read the rest of the book. If you don't like it, stop there because you're not going to like the rest of the book.
That was awesome,
yes.
Joe.
Oh,
Okay, well done.
5 minutes.
I am really upset right now, though, because why did I not know that you had a book that's taken with dinosaurs? Because if ever there was a book for me, that is
Nico,
it.
Nico, literally Hybrid Helix has dinosaurs in it.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
but it's not,
Michelle Yeoh.
it's not, Michelle Yeoh taken plus dinosaurs. So
Right.
I have your back on the other covers. So.
Oh, nice.
That's how Joe pitched it to me when he was first writing it, and I said, "Alpha, please." And so I got to Alpha read it because as soon as he said Michelle Yeoh and Taken or John Wick with Michelle Yeoh as the star, I'm like, "I'm
Done.
yes, please."
Yes.
And there's
And dinosaurs? Oh man, you got
And
space
there's a
bears
dog.
and hybrid helix. You got dinosaurs here, and apparently there too. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
I'm having way too much fun reading.
Yeah, you
I'm
need to
on
stop
book
having
3
fun.
right now. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
awesome. Oh my gosh.
Dinosaurs are in book 4.
So,
I better catch up.
Hybrid
Yeah.
Helix.
we
Someday I
highly,
will have.
highly recommend
Yep.
Burns books. Oh my gosh. And check out his YouTube channel. He's a fantastic YouTube channel where he explains to you
Yeah.
how sci-fi and fantasy can mix or not.
Kind of stuff. I just an angry man yelling at clouds on YouTube.
Yes.
That's my brand.
So once again, we'll have the link down below,
Yep.
but definitely check out Wistful Ascending and that whole
so much.
series. Oh my gosh, it's so
and partial
good.
function now. Yeah.
Yes, and now partial function. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jeff, for coming on.
Thank you for having me and for hosting this whole thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
Yes. All right. So, and then we have who's next?
Well, Andrew's here now. Hello,
Oh, and
Andrew
yes,
of
first,
Andrew's
real
Visually
quick.
Reads.
Hi, Andrew.
Welcome.
I'm back.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and then we've got the wonderful, the marvelous K.E. Andrews.
Hey.
One of my new favorites.
Wow. Well, Joe really knocked it out of the park. I don't have any good comps like that, but I'll do my best. So yeah, I am Katie Andrews, or otherwise known as Katie. I write mostly fantasy, but also some poetry on the side. So I don't know how many books I have out right now. I will count later. So my first ones that I wrote were poetry, Let the Hurt Girl Speak and Let the Hurt Girl Heal. So they were mostly just short little poetry and prose books that focus more on like mental health and just things in my own life. And the other one is another short compilation of poems called Sonder and Mori. It's just more observations about the world, just again, small poems and everything. My first fantasy book I wrote was The Assassin of Grins and Secrets. It is a dark fantasy book, first in a trilogy. It was a Spiffbo 8 semifinalist last year, so was very excited for that. It basically is about an assassin who was in prison, and then she is found by a prince of an enemy nation and is given a job to work for him as his guard. So there's a lot of political intrigue, a lot of like revenge plot, just a lot of secrets to uncover, because her main goal is to kind of try and kill this guy's father because he started a war with her country. So if you like Middle Eastern, Moroccan inspired setting, assassins, this is the book probably for you. My other one that just came out this year in May, Hills of Heather and Bone. It is a vastly different one. I call it more cozy, dark fantasy. It's got necromancy in it, cottagecore, plant magic, all different kinds of magic. And it's basically about a married couple who is on the run, and they're having to escape from this group of hunters that are trying to track them down. The main character, Morana, she is what's called a bone weaver, so she can hear the voices of the bones and reanimate them, but that is a magic that is forbidden. So she and her husband, Percy, have to flee and find a new place to live. So yeah, it was a very different book to write, but it is also a Spiffbo finalist this year. So that was quite a shock, but very exciting. So it's got spiteful chickens, there's plant puns, there's lots of themes of grief, hope, forgiveness, love, lots of those things. And again, I tried to make it a little bit more cozy, but it still kind of has some heavy themes. So it's just a fun little experiment that I did. And then I have two short stories. One is called Priestess of Moonlight. It's about maybe 10 pages-ish or so, and it's basically about a woman who is a trapped queen, and she's trying to escape from the castle she's trapped in. And there's some supernatural elements in there, a little bit more dark fantasy as well. And then I wrote a short little horror short story called Under the Couch. It's set in the 1920s, and it's basically this guy who attends a party and then he never leaves. So those are the things that I have written, and I don't really know what else to say, but that's it. That's me. Those are my books.
We're unmuted there.
Wow.
So real quick, can you show us a close-up of some of your interior design work?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
especially that hardback.
Especially the hardback on the new.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the one I have. But I don't have the correct version because it's the messed up one. So let me find it. Oh, there we go. I should start with the naked cover. This was done by the wonderful Marcella on Instagram. So pretty.
So beautiful.
I was very excited when she reached out to me and said, I want to do art for you. And I'm like, awesome. And she did some character portraits,
Okay.
Mercy and Morana. And then she did a nice little book plate in the middle. And then, of course, shout out to the amazing Sarah Ferrari for doing the back. This is the messed up version. So
Incredible.
those
What's messed up? It looks gorgeous.
So Ingram had, with the first proof, which is the only one I have at the moment, they removed the last couple chapters and put them like directly in the front. So it's the spoiler version of you read the first couple chapters and then boop, here's the ending.
Oh
So
my goodness.
What the?
That is crazy.
it just looks nice on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Little-
That's all you need.
Yes.
Other than that, it's fine.
Hardback.
But yeah, so I was very excited. And then the person who did my cover for Hills of Heather and Bone also did my cover for The Assassin Grids and Secrets, Jade May Yee. Love her. Such great work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna say it's a crime that Assassins didn't make finals.
Hey, that blamed Chiago. That was, it
Yeah,
was
we were
hard.
listening.
It was hard. It was down to us in our group, and I was like, well,
Well, I can't be mad at Chiago because I like his books too.
I know. It's hard. It was a no-win situation, at least for one of us.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, Katie. Those are so beautiful. So we'll have your link
Thank
down
you.
below.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and showing your gorgeous books. They're so
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
Bye.
I'm very
Bye.
excited. I know Andrew has just gone on and
Oh
on.
my
about
gosh.
Assassins of Grins and
I
Secrets.
loved Assassin.
So-
I was so mad that I literally bought the paperback, and then 3 weeks later she announced the hardcover, and I was just like, what?
I know how that goes.
All right. So up next,
We have David Toulouse, who is co-author with Mikel. Is it Melwasul?
Melwasul, you got it there.
Bill
Cool.
Wassel.
Hi, David.
Okay.
How are you?
Hi.
Hey.
This is our first time meeting, so it's great to meet
Yes,
you.
it is. Yeah, listening to everybody talking, I feel like I knew you forever already. So
Awesome. Well, do you want to tell us about your book?
yeah, I guess it is a little bit challenging to follow, science fiction, dinosaurs, and plant magic, right? But I will do my very best. So the novel that I have co-authored with Mick is called Paragon Exordium. It is a epic fantasy and also bends some genres, but I think the most convenient bucket to put it in is urban fantasy. In essence, humanity is working as normal when a magical event called the Shattering, no relation to the Elden Ring one we had at first, brings magic back into the world and causes an apocalypse for modern man. And so humans have to learn to live and how to survive when suddenly there's all sorts of magical creatures, entities, races, things that want to destroy and are used to a humanity that's, rub two sticks together to make fire. So the plot follows humans just trying to get through that, survive and keep their small town put together. So it bends some genres, and it leans heavily in some certain areas, right? Kind of urban fantasy, but it is set in the South. A little bit of military fiction aspect mixed in. Some of the main characters are very, martial focused. So it's been a bold undertaking, and we're excited to see where it goes from here for sure. Oh,
You're on mute.
There you go.
There we go.
there we go.
So go ahead.
So this is the first of a series, right?
Correct.
And
Yes.
how many are out? Just the one so far?
Just the one so far.
Okay.
So this is our
Gorgeous.
paperback version. Yep.
That looks beautiful.
Wonderful job. There is a hardcover now. I know you were saying you're worried about hardcovers.
Hold that up.
And we have it on
Hold that up
Amazon.
one more time.
So-
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
I'm close with you there. Oh, no, there you go.
There
There we go.
goes.
There we go. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
It is pretty substantial.
Yeah, it's
So,
chunk.
It is chunk, but it is pretty easy read. We published it Ingram Spark in May,
Okay.
so we're still generating traction and things on Amazon and other booksellers, right? Just really trying to get eyes on it, right? Get it out there, get everybody to read it.
Yeah. So
and-
you are probably, I think, my first author pair I've ever met.
okay.
I know Alon and I know Alon Marche co-writes. But so how does that process work for you?
Awesome. So when the project started 6.5 years ago, Nick and I were friends in college, and I have an English degree. I was working on it at the time, and he said, "Hey, you have an English degree. You want to read my book and see, what it looks like so far and kind of work on it?"
Yeah.
And as that relationship evolved, it ended up being, in every every other week and every week. And then we were spending hours together, and we sort of evolved into, you know, pitching ideas off of each other. And then we just were writing things at the same time. And, you know, it's become a much more symbiotic kind of relationship than it started out. So it wasn't planned that way. But after all this time of going through it, it sort of evolved. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then Katherine had a question in the comments. She was wondering how dark you would say the series is. Is it
Dark.
Like dark?
Like PG-13, rated R.
Yeah.
I would not say R. There are some horror elements to it.
Okay.
And there's some things that it touches on, some dark themes, right? I mean, it's I think you would be doing a disservice to an apocalypse, right, if there weren't some kind of heavy aspects to it.
Right.
But it's not overwhelming. And it is hopeful. Right. You're not, I hope no one leaves it feeling, wow, you know, the world is ruined and there's no hope. So
Right.
yeah, there are some darker things to it.
Of course.
It's not young adult, but you could give it to a teenager. I think you'd be totally fine. It's clean, right? And as Mick would like to say, it is not fairy smut. So you can give it to younger audiences and as well as older ones and find out. I know just this week he had someone who says, you know, oh, I'm in my 60s, I loved it, and I want to give it to my grandson. I was like, oh, well, that sounds good to us. So
Cool.
You had me right up until you told me there was no smut.
I know. Oh no.
Oh, you.
We'll see.
Yeah. No
Nick-
smut is a selling point for me, for sure.
I know.
Same.
Yeah, one of the things for that is, you know, a lot of places, and the more difficult thing has been finding, you know, places that'll take it, that all sort of want, you know, seems like a more specific thing out of it. And I know Mick and I have talked about, you know, well, there's other people now that we know that want to be sort of involved in the project in some way, that might want to, you know, short story here, you know, things of that nature and come off of it. And, you know, maybe we can, you know, work that aspect into it a little bit, but this is supposed to be open to as many people as possible. And yeah, you're not going to have an uncomfortable conversation with your kid later.
Yep.
You know?
Cool.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes. And I
Yeah,
see
thanks for having me.
in the chat.
Yeah, and Mikel
Yeah.
is in the chat too.
Yes. So.
Oh, great. He did make, okay.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for
And-
coming on.
Yep, we'll have a
Yeah.
link down below.
Yes.
And you can also
Yep.
find Mikel on TikTok as well, and he's pretty
Yes.
active there.
Yes, he's on TikTok as well. He dragged me out of there as well. So I hope everybody has a good holiday.
You too.
Have a
You
good
too.
holiday. And, you know, continues in the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. So
You too. Thank you, David.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye.
bye.
Can I just say that I love that Andrew is setting up a lighting system in the background?
My lights burned out, and they came,
Oh,
and
no.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Well, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. We've got R.E.
Sanders. Yep, Rob.
Rob, hi.
Hey.
Welcome.
Oh, I got to unmute
Let's
him.
see. You're on. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Hello.
Hey.
Can everyone hear me and see me?
Yes.
Sure can.
Yes.
Yes.
How's it's dark there already, but how's the weather
It's-
over in Wales?
It's been cold and dry today,
Awesome.
which makes a change. It's normally wet and cold, or wet and warm.
Awesome.
We're
Awesome.
part
Well,
aquatic.
Thank you so much for joining us. From
It's a
all
real
over
place to be
the
here. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not from round there.
Don't worry, we
Well,
went
I see. I've
from there.
Yeah, we'll
So-
we'll swap houses. For,
yeah, welcome. So yeah, thank you for Andrew for inviting me. Thank you, Patricia, for having me on the channel. Obviously, Kay and Nico, Andrew, it's lovely to see you. Lovely to meet you. The indie writing community has been really, really supportive. I'm quite a new author on the scene, but everyone has been super friendly, super helpful, wanting to help each other, which is amazing. You hear so much bad stuff about social media, Twitter in particular, but I found it nothing but positive. And it's really nice to see a few faces I know from Twitter, but be able to put like moving images and words to their Twitter handles. So that's great. And some of the books sound fascinating. So introduce myself. I'm R.E. Sanders. Rob is fine. There's another Rob Sanders who writes. That's why I went by R.E. to write, but Rob's my name. Relatively new fantasy author. Published one full-length novel so far, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Published a novella the year before that. Working up to writing an epic fantasy series, which I've written about 95% of the first book of. And if anybody's been following me on Twitter, I'm trying to finish it off during NaNoWriMo. nearly there. That should be released Easter-ish next year. That'll be the first book, and maybe 5 or 6 books will follow. I've got a plot in my mind. I don't know exactly how long it'll take to tell. But hopefully it'll be a story that grabs people. The setting is very interesting, and you'll find out more as you read. I can't really give much away. The book I want to talk about today is my debut novel, which was released in the summer, which is called A Path of Blades, and I have it here. This is A Path of Blades. It's a story about obligation, duty, and honor. It centers around the fortune of the main character Ingvar Darrell and his family. Ingvar's a knight. He's sent away to do what he's told. He has to comply with the rules of honor and nobility, but that's not what he wants. He's quite a homebody. He likes peace and quiet and being at home. Home is very much where the heart is for Ingvar. If you've read any of my other writing, you'll know that my characters don't have much of a noble chance in hell of getting peace or quiet. So soon forces close in around Ingvar, and he's forced to fight to protect everything he owns. And on the way, he makes some really difficult decisions. So there's a cast of personalities: Ingvar's family, his father, another very stubborn individual, his friend, Olya, who's another very idealistic knight, who's like a foil to his pragmatism, his servants, the rest of his family. There's a whole cast of characters. It's quite a family drama as well as being epic fantasy. So it's a story of friendship, love, honor, betrayal, courage. I tried to weave in all these elements to make it feel really close to the characters. The story is the question of, when you're asked to make the most difficult decisions, what will you choose to do and how do you follow up on those actions? I've had a few reviews so far. They're generally been very positive. It's a story, it's drama, the portrayal of the characters, strong male and female characters, and a lot of plot twists, which sort of evolved. I don't think myself particularly tricky as an author, but stuff came out. The setting's feudal, medieval, and I've tried to really put you as the reader into that environment. Imagine exactly how it would feel. I've been compared favourably to Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson in terms of my writing style, which I took as a compliment. And one of my reviews even compared some of my description to Tolkien, which obviously I was thrilled with. One thing that readers have noted, and this is one of the criticisms I got, not many people have criticised this, but it has been noted that the story is quite prosaic. For epic fantasy, aren't really many magical elements. That's very deliberate on my part. It's part of the whole. The setting is something that's going to grow. This is in the same setting as all my other works, and I'm going to elaborate on that as I go on. And also, it's a very deliberate storytelling decision. So my taste of fantasy formed by reading Tolkien, David Gemmell. As you can see, my bookcase behind is just full of that sort of stuff, as well as reading historical fiction. So I've read a lot of Bernard Cornwell, Connie Gordon, and what they all showed me is that something doesn't have to be magical to be fantastical. It doesn't have to have supernatural elements to feel alien. You can do that with the writer. You can do that with creating culture. The challenge is to populate the strange landscapes with relatable characters so that their struggles seem vivid and real. So that's A Path of Blades. It's available. Amazon, paperback. You can't see that with the glare. Sorry. I'll keep trying different ways. Paperback, ebook, and Kindle Unlimited. It's quite a short book for epic fantasy. It's quite a quick read. My wife read through it in a couple of days and got very angry with me because it didn't have the happy ending that she wanted.
Uh-oh.
She called me all sorts of names, but yeah, I didn't mind.
Oh my goodness.
And a little bit about the setting. So this is something I'm going to elaborate on. It's the setting is called the Land of Twin Swords. So the story goes, there were two brothers, twins, called Hawat and Jutat, and they were smiths, and they forged a sword each. And as they were setting out to take their swords and conquer their own kingdoms, the swords were touched by gods, and it set them on a divergent path. And every time the swords crop up through history, there's turmoil, conflict, war. And so it's not much of a spoiler to say that the fate of the world will rest on the eventual fate of the swords. So that's me. That's my books. Just starting, but there's a lot more to come.
That's
Awesome.
amazing. That
Path of
sounds
Blades is one I've
so
been
good.
really wanting to get to.
Yeah.
I would love it if you did. Have you got a copy?
I've got the ebook. Yeah.
Good man. Yeah, like I said, it's quite a quick read. I keep saying that to people who want to review it or read it. You know, it's not a big chunky fantasy book. It's relatively fast. So yeah, get stuck in.
It's nice to have some of the small ones in there every now and then. But I'm definitely curious. This is I don't think I was aware of this one previously. But it sounds, especially with some of like the inspirations there. You mentioned David Gemmell too. You usually get me on board, so
Yeah.
definitely
I
want to be
didn't
keeping an eye
realise
on it.
until it came up on Twitter how much of a subconscious influence David Gemmell was on me.
Yeah.
I read a lot when I was a teenager, and I actually picked up Legend last week just to see, and I was like, oh yeah, this is me. This is where it comes from. But I remember he was one of the ones who inspired me to delve into this world and want to write my own stories. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like the historical fiction thing. A lot of people have said, this novel is like historical fiction, and that was kind of what I was aiming for. So I'm happy with that comparison.
That's great.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds cool.
That's on my TBR.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you ever so much for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Rob.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody else. Cheers.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
And Kay, I got done building my lights.
Amazing. Double productivity. Look at you go.
I just need to get it all dialed in. I need to figure out what looks good. And right now I look like a wraith. But
You look great. You look great.
My TBR is going to be destroyed.
I
By
was
the end
gonna
of this.
say, I'm
Yes.
like, I keep reaching for my phone, and I'm like, no, I'll just wait, and I'll go rewatch this afterwards with my Goodreads up, and I'm just gonna add all of that.
Exactly.
I did
I'm
the same.
making a list in my notepad on the computer as we go along. So
I mean, the links are in the description, Nico.
They are.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just making a list so I can look later easier.
Easilier.
Easilier, yes, definitely.
That dad brain setting in.
All right.
The
So
amount
up,
of turkey I've eaten, it's a miracle I'm awake. Come on.
sell that turkey brain.
Next up, we have Tim McKay.
Okay.
There we go.
Hello, sir.
Oh.
You,
Oh.
We're
There
doing
you
it at the same
go.
time. There we go.
That's funny. Cheers, everyone. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you all. I guess, except for Kayla, we actually got to grab coffee. Was that 2 weeks ago now?
It feels like it was yesterday, but
Yeah, it was
probably.
pretty
Yeah.
recent, yeah.
I want to have
Saying.
coffee with Kayla. That's not fair.
Hello.
Come
It's
on
pretty
over,
fun,
Andrew.
So yeah, I
Come
highly
on.
recommend
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll just hop in the car, be there in 30 minutes.
Yep, for sure.
Canada life. Yeah, sorry.
Did you
I
drive?
mean, you're probably okay where you are, though. We just got a bunch of snow, and I'm
True.
I mean, we're talking about the holidays tonight, so I guess it's good timing. But I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I love snow. I'm always up.
Anyways, yeah. No, thanks so much for having me. So I'm Tim McKay, as you said, and I'm the author of Rise of Dreska and Seas of the Zova. I guess I have them here. So yeah, my first one was Rise of Dreska. I'll hold it up a little better for the light. Sorry. And then the sequel came out so that came out in August, and I published the sequel, Seas of the Zova, just in mid-October. So they're both short, dark fantasy novels. I think that's the best genre to classify them as. And they're both on Amazon for $0.99. Today, I'm just going to talk about the first one, Rise of Dreska. So this one, I'm really happy about. I think you'd enjoy it, especially if you enjoy straight to the action narratives. That's really what I was going for. So intense fight scenes, magic you can feel. Rob just mentioned, Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, and great to bring them up, because the way that they were able to make you feel the magic for yourself is something I wanted to emulate. A few other authors too, Stephen R. Lawhead being a huge influence on me as well. Anyways, yeah. So I would say the number one way to summarize Rise of Dreska would be to say it's an origin story. So it's just meant to be your introduction to a flintlock fantasy world. So it has guns and cannons and dragons and monsters. And what you really need to know about this world is that beneath everything you encounter, all the action and all the subplots, everything that's going on, there's this evil parasite, and it's controlling and manipulating everything. So you as the reader and the characters are swept up in this fight that they and you don't even understand yet.
And so the characters they gradually learn what's going on, and they gradually learn what they're capable of, and that's when they're finally able to start fighting back. So that happens throughout the course of the story. So hold on for the ride. It's intense, and it's meant to be, and it's kind of the story I always love. I love guessing, and I love being pulled along and everything tying together. And again, this is just the first book, so I can't say too much more without spoilers. What I will say is that there are characters that I think people are really going to enjoy along the way. So for me, by far my favorite character, both to read and write, is Rhinwen. So her name comes from the Welsh Ronwen, or Rowena, as it's more commonly said. And so same phonetic origin. And she's this totally scatterbrained 9-year-old girl, but extremely powerful, which makes for some really fun writing and I would say even more fun reading. And so far, everyone seems to love her the most, and I think rightly so. I've never had so much fun writing in my life as writing the chapters that are from her perspective. And whenever she shows up, it's just a really good time. It's some nice, I wouldn't say my books are extremely dark, but dark enough that the bit of, it's not necessarily comedic. There's some comedic relief for sure, but she provides definitely some levity that I think a lot of overly dark books leave out, and so you definitely get it from her. Then we have the main character, Valderis Draskar, and so he's this artillery captain. He's a bit cynical and disillusioned because he's been swept up in this protracted war as a conscript. But then the war ends right as Rise of Dreska starts off. And so that's where his life takes a very dark turn. And I'll let you read just to see for yourselves just how dark. Then I would say everyone else's favorite characters seem to be a bit of a tie between these twin sisters, Melodar and Savora. And so they're from this subjugated serf nation called Sivala, but they're both masters of stealth and of the sword, of these weapons from their homeland called Karosas. And so those weapons have some really interesting history, and they become increasingly important as the series progresses. Actually, I've even priced it out. Someday I'm hoping to actually get a mock-up done of these swords, which I think will be a lot of fun for people to actually see in real life. But needless to say, I had a lot of fun creating the weapons and the characters and the magic systems and everything that's going on in the book here. And I think you're really going to enjoy it as it unfolds. So yeah, plenty of other fun characters in the book and a lot more to come in books 2 and 3. But again, you can find all 2 books and any future ones on Amazon. Both books are on for $0.99 right now. And that's it on my end. Yeah. Cheers, everyone. And of course, happy holidays.
So,
You said Stephen R. Lawhead and Flintlock.
Yeah.
So
He's sold.
you're here to give Brian McClellan a run for his money, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Stephen R. Lawhead. I mean, I started out early on with books like Lord of the Rings and jumped up from there. But I went on a bit of a reading hiatus, I would say, between, probably between 10 and 15, and then really jumped back in when a family friend gave me Taliesin by Stephen R. Lawhead. Yep. And anything historical fiction or fantasy or some mix of the two, I'm sold. And then of course Patrick O'Brien would be another one I left out, but that's where some of the Flintlock, that's historical fiction, but that was a huge influence as well. So if you've read any of those, sorry,
Bernard Cornwell.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
We don't have any fans of Bernard Cornwell in this chat right now.
Probably not. I doubt it.
He's muted. But
I've read the Warlord.
There you go.
I've read the Warlord Chronicles. I'll say it again.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Wizard. Give your Cornwall.
No, I love the Warlord Chronicles. I love a crazy druid Merlin.
I Druidic history and Welsh history, and I mean, just how much there is to draw from. I love any fiction that at least has it as an influence. It's part of why I always throw Celtic symbols on my covers if I can. Sorry about the lighting, but just as a little bit of a tribute there to some of the influences.
I have to say, I was sold from the beard alone. I'm just like, this guy looks like he knows how to write a fantasy book. I'm just like, I was there. So the book sounds really interesting too.
I feel like a beard is a prerequisite, but I don't want to, I don't want to cut anyone out. I mean, that's something I'm passionate about. Is I don't like gatekeeping.
No beard. No. Kay and I'll pass on that.
That's you're missing out.
They make those like woolen knit
beards.
They make woolen knit beards.
There you go.
I have seen those.
It's true.
It's terrible.
Well, thank
you so much for coming on, Tim.
Yeah,
cheers. Thanks so much for having me. And again, nice to meet everyone.
Likewise. Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Yes, links in the description.
Yes.
Check out his books. All right. And then up next, we are going to move right into Katherine D. Graham. Full name. Miss Katherine here. Oh, I turned off the no.
Let her do it.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Cool.
I'm like sorry for having no beard and no red meat off the bone. Good to meet you guys.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
So Katherine, tell us about your books.
Yeah, so I've got a few different books. I mostly write dark epic fantasy, sometimes with a little romance thrown in, sometimes not. I published my debut epic indie fantasy novel back in 2021, and then followed that up last year with Splitting Dawn, which is the one that is on sale for Black Friday. This came out last year in the Realm of Darkness box set, which was a USA Today best-selling set. So thank you, everybody who helped us hit the list. But I realized romance isn't really 100% my thing. So most of my books are like, they've got good versus evil, bittersweet endings. So this is a strong female main character in here. Each of my main characters is very different. So Kira is very strong and strong-willed and knows what she wants out of the world and doesn't know if a man fits into that picture as much, even though she's the crown princess and expected. There's a little bit of a love triangle in there with dark vampire elves and also the Demon King, which I think is more the favorite from other readers. But yeah, so this one is on sale for 99 cents and the hardback is on sale too for Black Friday. And leading up to it, I have a monster because I've been writing that series since I was 13. And so the Splitting Worlds collection is now available in one giant ebook or one giant hardback on Amazon. And this is a series of 4 novellas. Really excited leading up to Kiera and her story in the full-length novel Splitting Dawn. And then what happens after her, especially with Ray, who is a Tengu warrior princess, and the angel and demon twin brothers who are sons of characters that I can't really go into a whole lot without spoiling Splitting Dawn. So if you're going to read this series, I'd recommend starting with this one and then working down. And I've also marked down the original version of The Vow That Twisted Fate because there's an extended version out. This one's an epic fantasy with a romantic subplot, and it is my entry in Spiffbone 9. So very excited to have been able to take part with everybody this year. That one's a standalone. It doesn't have a series, and it's more focused on how there is good and evil in all of us, and until we can accept that, we can't really become better people, I guess, in a nutshell. But it's sort of wrapped into a traditional epic fantasy setting. So there are dwarves and elves and some other fantasy races and dragons that serve as the god figures of that world. So I've got that marked down as well.
Awesome.
That
sounds great, Katherine.
Yeah, great deals. And you can start the series. And, and I love the new cover.
Thank you. I don't have a hardback of the new cover, so
yeah, it looks great. So be sure to check out Katherine. She also has her own YouTube channel where she does reviews and lots of interviews and does kind of what we're doing today. Yeah. Linking lots of indie authors together and other authors, and it's fantastic. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
coming on.
you.
Catherine.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Layla!
Hi, Layla.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You didn't tell us till today.
He didn't tell you until today.
I'm sorry.
No.
You know, I probably should have said something. Like it was in a
I've
video.
known for a while.
I'm sure you have.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
I should have said something more specifically in Discord. And I didn't mean to spring that on this video. But just,
Layla probably told Andrew before she even told Nico.
Exactly, probably.
I think it's great. You get all the congratulations and all the love, as you should.
Yes, yeah. Andrew definitely knew before Nico. No.
Yep.
Well, we went to Indiana 4 days after we found out, and it just kind of ended up coming out when we were there. So
That's awesome. Congratulations.
thank
Yes,
you.
congrats.
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Very-
excited. I'm gonna be Uncle Andrew.
Yes. All right, and then now we've got the beautiful, marvelous.
The beautiful. Oh
I know
boy.
this guy.
Oh, sorry.
Thiago Abdalla is here. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you all doing?
Doing great. It's a good day.
We're having fun.
Awesome.
So, Chiago, I understand that you are both an author and are hosting a sale of your own, and we would love to hear all
Both.
about it.
All.
Okay, cool. I am. I'm big. I'm big on the screen. Not really. I'm actually quite short.
No, you heard it here. Tiago's big.
So yeah, I'm the author of The Ashes of Averin, which is a series that is going to be 4 books. It starts with A Touch of Light, which is SPFBO 8 finalist from last year. Book 2 is A Shade of Madness, which is this beautiful cover right here. And book 3 will be out very soon. It was supposed to be out around now, to be honest, but there were a couple little delays with a few personal things happening with me and the people involved, but should probably be out in the next few months. Yeah, it's a story about very cliche life and death, but it's a world where I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here because I know most of you have read it already. So but yeah, it's a world where death is considered to be a sin because there's this union of nations basically that worship a goddess that's she represents life, right? And the important people in this domain, as it's called, all kind of like live over 100 years, or basically they're believed to live forever. So if you die, it's considered like the goddess has discarded you because you're unworthy, and death is considered a sin. So people who die aren't talked about. They can't be remembered in a good light. So the story kind of explores, how that unhealthy relationship to death affects people inside of the domain. And then there's this other kind of part of the world, which are the clans who are outside of the domain, and they like death a little bit too much. They think that life is limited and life comes from the earth, and if there is too much life being used, the world's going to end. So life needs to be productive, life needs to be effective, and if you're not using your life well or in the right way, then it needs to return to the earth. So basically you're discarded. And they have these kind of rituals and events where they kind of like do a lot of killing, I'd say. So yeah, and that's like the world in a nutshell. And then suddenly a strange kind of affliction starts to appear inside the domain. It starts causing a lot of death, which you can see that would be a problem. And then things just start rolling from there. yeah, it's a dark fantasy. It's a multi POV epic sprawling fantasy. It's a quite a large world. I really like to explore themes and do a lot of show don't tell. So you'll get the information when you need it, and meanwhile you're writing with the character, and if they're confused, you might be a little confused alongside them, and that's just my way of trying to immerse the reader in the story. So that's the kind of book that it is. Oh, I also forgot to mention there is a free prequel novella, Prelude to Ashes, which you can get ebook copy by signing up to my newsletter. And yeah, so that's the series up to now, and you can also check out discounted ebooks on my website, which I think is linked down below. I'm hosting a 150 book Black Friday sale alongside a ton of authors, and thanks to James Doolin's help as well.
Wow.
He kind of nudged me into it. I just kind of like set up the website. He gathered all the info, so we teamed up to host everything, and it's been really good so far. Really happy.
I know I saw a bump yesterday, so I know that was helping.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yes, that is what is linked below, so you can get right to Chiago's website and to all those books, because those are on sale all weekend. I think at least through Monday probably. So
yeah.
And
so
and a lot of free.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's free books in there too.
Okay.
Yeah. All books are free or 99 cents.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So you can get both A Touch of Light and Shade of Madness for 99 cents.
Oh, wow.
And it's the first time since launch that I think A Shade of Madness is 99 cents. So
it is an amazing book.
Yes.
And an amazing cover. And if you haven't bought it, you need to go get it for 99 cents, because that's kind of silly.
I've got my hardcovers right there. So
yeah. Awesome.
I still need my third book, but
Yeah, it'll be out soon. I've been meaning to like record a video like updating everything that's happened, because this has been an insane year for me. I've had so many changes, and not only me, like my editor has gone through a few things as well. He had to kind of pause for a bit, and I'm not changing editors on book 3. So yeah, I just had to kind of delay it a little bit, but I should like get a video out on my newsletter soon, just updating everyone about what's happening.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my pitch was so boring that the Merediths are the only ones left.
She had to drop out. Her Santa's driving by the house, and her little kid wanted to see him.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Santa's important. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us
coming,
from
Brazil. Thank you.
Brazil,
right.
right? Yeah.
Where it's warm.
Yeah. Authors from all around the world. It's awesome. Cool. I love that we can do this, right? That we can connect.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for hosting this as well. Super cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for popping on. So be sure to check out that other sale he was talking about too.
And buy his books first, and then go through everybody else's books.
Yeah, it's just my books are at the bottom, so you can just take your time, look through all the books. Andrew has, I think, 3 books on there as well.
I do. Yep. All of the Collation Saga's on there.
Oh, there you
go. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, super cool. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
See ya.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess it's just us now.
That's okay. So we're
They're
gonna
all
pull
chasing
in.
after Santa. So in the meantime, we would love to hear from. Oh, hold on. We got
a little bit of a buzz.
Gregory.
Mike. If it's up. Oh,
it
yeah,
us?
it's you.
Yep.
Just 1 second here.
Hold on 1 second. Try it again. Yeah. So it's buzzing when it comes on.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
That's probably the heat in the background. You guys talk for a second. I will be right back and take care
of it.
Cool. All right. Well, while we're waiting for him, we do have a video that someone submitted.
Yes.
For us to show.
So we can show those. So which one? Let's see. We're going for.
Go ahead and do Lyons.
Lyons. Lyons. This is from Lyons.
I'm Lyons, author of Starlight Jewel, a dark epic fantasy about Spriggans and Spriggan human hybrids. The main character, Axley, is an assassin and thief, and the book is about her trying to keep her brother safe from the world and keep the world safe from her brother. It's a multi-POV book that doesn't have a lot of flashy magic. Most of the magic is based in the natural world. I did a lot of research on predatory animals and migratory birds and trees. So hopefully you like the strange magic system that I came up with. And if you like political, social type epic fantasies, it might be up your alley. Anyway, I hope you give it a try. Thank you.
That was E.L. Lyons. I've met her on Twitter, and she's so active. So she's someone to watch for sure. And her book just sounds really intriguing to me because I'm trying to write my own Ent Dryad Spriggan story myself. So
There you go.
yeah, I'm really excited about that one. And her link is down below. Yeah. All right, let's see how we're
Good.
doing.
Let's try this again.
Oh, he has to. There we
Okay,
go.
all right.
Yep,
Awesome.
there we go.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
See,
course.
you got the worst that could happen out of the way. Now we're good.
It's so great, right? Because I was thinking this whole time this was just going to be like me alone in a void talking to people, and that there are actually people to talk to here is so much better. And I was like all ready for it, and then there's like this in the background. I'm like, this is exactly why I don't do cameras. I'm a dedicated keyword goblin, so like I'm good behind the scenes.
So your name is Gregory, but
Yes.
your pen
Hello.
name is Wunderlin, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Your pen name is George Wunderlin? Is that right?
George? No, it's Gregory. It's just straight Gregory.
Gregory.
Wonderland.
What is Gregory?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's my actual name, believe it or not. It is true.
Awesome. Let us
Okay.
hear about your book.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can hear me good. I just like threw all the stuff on my headphones off, and I'm like, great, let's just do it live.
Absolutely.
So hi everyone. I'm Gregory Wonderland. I'm the author of The Soul of Chaos, and I'm terrible at being in front of the camera, so I apologize about everything that's about to happen. Fortunately, my wife has given me a lot of self-confidence before this, so let's get started. So I'm generally epic fantasy author. I delve into all sorts of different writing, but The Soul of Chaos is my only published novel currently. It is part of its own upcoming series. Who knows when the rest of those books are coming out, known as the Litanies of the Lost Star. You can see it with my assistant in the background here holding the book, but here's a little up close with a lovely glare sort of situation. Ooh, book. But yeah, so The Soul of Chaos is kind of epic fantasy, kind of sci-fantasy, kind of gunpowder mixed in there, epic second world, all sorts of genres masked into one. It's got a little bit of mystery, a little bit of cosmic horror just when you're least expecting it, just to kind of keep you off your goals there and just kind of keep you into the book as it goes. But generally the book follows two of the main characters are Rurik and Arcalis, who are both kind of noble siblings who have just gone through the absolute worst situations possible. And you get to start the story seeing them in the aftermath of all the stuff that they've gone through as of recent. So Arcalis starts the book as an alcoholic. Rurik is just a depressed mess who is just trying to deal with his situation underground. One of the big things that I really try to do in this book is give you like a full picture of an entirely different world while still remind you of something. So both of them, their names are kind of a little odd, obviously very fantasy-ish, but their culture is very Norman-based, right? So you get that kind of Viking French influence along with all these other cultures that you kind of meet. Rurik's story kind of follows him in this underground ruin that has recently been rediscovered in the past few years. And this ruin is just this massive array of more science fiction than fantasy. The magic here really kind of doubles as both. It kind of works as technology and magic aside, depending on how you use it. So you get this story of this guy being from a generally Renaissance type world, used to maybe flintlock rifles and swords. And here he is in the middle of this realm where he can operate doors with these magical sort of aspects to them. He talks at them and some of them may open. So you have this really interesting blend of those two. And then you get Arcalis's perspective, which takes place in kind of the real world, so to speak. And she's kind of dealing with the politics and the more fantasy elements that you would imagine. She has all of the swords and the rifles and all of those kind of what's going on in that world. So the book really does its best to kind of like trend those two things together and give you a really interesting view into what that could look like in its own epic world. One of the other things that I really am kind of focused on in doing this and telling like interesting story is there's a whole wiki of lore that I could drop at any moment, but I try not to do that. And I try to let you experience the world as a native. So when you get into actually reading the book, you don't have people going, how does this work? And you have to delve into this massive definition and drop of everything going on. It's more along the lines of the characters know, so you kind of just figure it out via context. Sometimes that might not be as illuminating as you'd want initially, but overall it kind of keeps you in the story without characters for some reason giving this a litany of just like explanations to characters who know how this all works. So it's kind of the gist of the Soul of Chaos. I can't really get into too much without spoiling things. I will say that the world building here is probably what I'm most proud of. There's a lot of really intricate kind of details that go into the world, from the physics and the magic and just how people interact with their daily lives. For instance, so the world itself isn't what you'd expect of Earth. The sun is actually static in the sky, and as it gets dark during night, the shadow kind of overshrouds the sun, and day the shadow goes away. And then for seasons, it raises and lowers as far as the planet is concerned, and it kind of, according to the novel, disappears into the realm of evil to fight off chaos. Hence, you get some interesting things with the title there. But like the end of the world, if you go to the realm of order is what it's called, you end up just dissipating into mist. So there is a literal end of the world, and you die if you go past it. So you have these very interesting sort of delineations of how the real world actually works and how everything is connected. And you get, because of that, the physics is all sorts of a mess. So that's a little bit of the world building, a little bit of introspective on the book itself. Other than that, it's very, very epic fantasy. You get multiple POVs as you go. It starts with the 2, but it starts to branch out. There's maybe 4 or 5 other characters you get to know. The names, of course, are always difficult to pronounce, so good luck. I did not put a glossary in there, so you can figure it out. One of the things I really like to do is have the characters mispronounce each other's names, because they're all from different sort of cultures on the same continent. So one character whose name is spelled L-U-C, you actually pronounce it loose, and no one gets it right the entire book, and it's a constant thing. So it's this fun little interplay you get between characters.
Perfect.
Yeah, like Hermione. Yeah.
I just feel like I spoke for 5,000 years. Is that okay? Are we good?
You did great.
Yeah, thank
that
you,
was
Grace.
perfect. Can you show us the cover again? I love the artwork
absolutely.
on the front. Yeah, who's the artist?
So the artist is, lighting. There we go. The artist is Danila Kalinin, who is on Twitter. That's the actual name. Russian guy. Absolutely awesome to work with. He hand paints his stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that it's actually really, it kind of looks like more like a mural. Of course, the glare is making it impossible to see. But the detail on the cover is amazing. The closer you get to it, the more you can actually see. So some of the images don't do it justice, because they're like the quality is so ridiculously good. But the actual physical cover, if you have it, or if you have the real image, you can zoom in and just constantly see more. Sorry, Andrew's pointing up, and I'm going on.
He's
doing my lights.
Okay. All right, I'm just like, what's going on? Should I be looking up? What's happening?
No, I'm sorry. I'm messing with lights that I just installed on the live show because I'm a professional.
On over here, and I'm like, I don't know how to work this. This is my wife's stuff, and I'm just like, great, cool lighting. How does this work?
You did fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Gregory.
Of course, happy to be here.
We've
Thank
got
you.
links down below.
Yeah, right. Links down below. I'm actually part of Chiago's sale, which has been amazing. This book just came out last month, and I have no social media following and nothing. So actually getting some attention on this has been fantastic. Which thank you, folks, so much for reaching out for this. This has been really cool. But yeah, Twitter is my only real presence. I'm kind of on TikTok, but I'm also like, how does this thing work? I'm too old. So it's kind of that. But
everybody go blow up Gregory's follow and just do a follow train.
Yeah.
Take him everywhere.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Some in the chat there who were saying they're
Thank you
following
so much for coming on, Gregory.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and have a great afternoon.
Yeah, you as well. Adios.
Happy holidays. All right. And then who's up next?
We have H.C. Newell.
I'm a #1 fan.
Am I live?
You are
live.
here.
The world can see you.
No, I've been trying to practice this pitch all day, and I'm messing it up every single time. Woo!
Yeah, there you go.
I need to order book 3. I'm planning on ordering it in a few days.
Yes, you have to. I told you in the thing the other day that you can still order it. I took it down, but you can still order it. I'll let you still order one.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you know I'm good for it.
Yeah, all good for my number 1 fan. So hi everybody, I'm Newell. You guys probably have seen my books around. They're very beautiful.
They are gorgeous. Oh
these are considered epic dark fantasy. I think a lot of people. Oh my gosh, I have this on my phone so I can see the comments and it's echoing. So I don't even know what I was saying, but I think a lot of people in the chat have already read my books or they know a little bit about them. But I'm gonna give y'all another recap just in case you don't know. And if you do know, then you can talk about how awesome they are, like Andrew, because they were pretty cool. So book 1 is about, well, actually, I told y'all. I mess up these all day. I've been messing them up all day. Okay, start over. It's an epic dark fantasy series. If you guys like Tolkien, if you like The Witcher, if you like D&D style quests, these are all things that reviewers have said that they've all compared it to. You may like my books. They are epic dark fantasy series about a young woman named Nirana, who is born of magic. And because of this, she is considered a demon by her people, and she is hunted for this. Whenever humans are born, they are given a blood test. And if they fail this test, because they have magic in their blood, so Nir failed this test, and her parents went on the run with her. So she has been in hiding basically her entire life. But she is unable to use her magic because anytime she does, the Order of Sorrow, who has persecuted her for this magic, they put a curse on her. Anytime she uses it, they can locate wherever she is. So this isn't a coming of age story though. She does know how to use a sword. She knows how to fight. She's pretty capable. She also can use her magic kind of in dire situations, I guess, more of like an instinctual sort of thing, but it's very limited and it's very, it kind of drains her. Magic is a form of energy and it drains her and she gets really weak after she uses it. So she doesn't use it very often. She doesn't really know much about it. So in book 1, we follow her story, just one point of view, as she tries to find a cure for this curse that keeps her from using her magic. Let's see. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure you guys can hear me because I don't know. I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now.
You're great. You're doing great.
Okay.
We're taking notes.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. It's very quiet. So this is just her journey to find a cure for that curse. And yeah, that's basically it, I guess. So we just follow her. It's just a like I said, a one person or one point of view, third person, past tense sort of situation.
And you have 3 books out now for the series.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a trilogy or is this just the beginning?
This is just the beginning. It's a 6-book series.
Cool.
And then I have 3 novellas that are also going to be part of that.
I really enjoyed the first book.
I know you did because it's awesome.
Are there any novellas out yet?
Yes.
There are novellas?
Andrew.
Why am I just learning about this? Oh, I've seen that. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
You.
I was like, how can you be my number 1 fan and not know that I have novellas out?
I knew that existed. I'm sorry.
And when do you read that one? When's for best reading order?
Yeah.
All the reading order is actually listed in the books.
Okay.
So if you get confused, it's listed in there for you. I can't even find it though. Look at me. So
It's not like you wrote them.
all right. So it says to be read after the Forbidden Realms.
Oh,
so it's book 1, book 2, The Banished, book 3.
Also very smart.
So it's all listed out for you. But all of my books, in book 1, we follow Nir, and it's just a one point of view. And then in book 2, we go to the desert, so across the entire country, and we follow another point of view of Ayla, who is also a sorceress. She is an elvish or avish sorceress, and non-humans consider sorcerers as saviors, while humans view them as demons. So Ayla is kind of viewed as more of a savior. And we follow Nirana's point of view, and we also follow Ayla's point of view. But it's kind of interesting because my points of view, they all follow Ayla or Nir's plot line. It's not like Ayla's over here doing her own thing and Nir's over here and they eventually come together. The Ayla's plot still follows Nir's story. It's all connected to her. It's really interesting. I don't really know how else to explain it. They're all kind of intertwined.
Better read the books.
Yeah, definitely.
Branches of a tree
Yes,
coming together into one trunk to form a story.
So when we first meet Ayla, she's already connected to Near Story somehow, and we learn that immediately. So it's not like they're just off on their own and they eventually come together. It's all following, like I said, Near Story, and we are on the other side of the country, and we follow them through the desert as Ayla. If you guys have ever played Final Fantasy X, Ayla is kind of Yuna in disguise. She kind of has her storyline where she's on a pilgrimage to kind of save the world in a way. So while Nier is on a journey to get revenge for the Order of Sorrow for persecuting her and making her be viewed as a demon, Ayla is on a journey as a savior to save the world. So there's kind of like conflicting goals there, but they need each other and they have to work together and they're allies. So they come together and it shows their, different plots, I guess. And then, so these two stories lay the groundwork. Got a Nier story, you got Ayla's story, and then it all just kind of comes together in book 3. So they lay the groundwork, like I said. This is book 3. It's where the story really starts. And then we have 3 more books after this one.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I hope I did a good job because I feel like
You did
Yes,
great.
absolutely.
You did a great job.
Yay! Go buy my books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Link down below to buy those.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Well done. Good job.
Yes.
Yay! And we hit
Come
the
on,
mark.
Ray.
Perfect. I didn't take too long.
No, not at all.
You're perfect.
Yay! Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
for
Have a
joining
great rest of your
us.
day.
You too.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
I just realized I was wearing my Thiago hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Yep.
Well,
Excellent.
we have now the. Oh, just a moment. We're getting this back in order. There we go.
There we go.
Andy,
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Woo!
Great.
Thank
I've never gotten a chance to talk to you in person. I want to say it's so great to have another Andrew beard buddy.
Right? I feel like us Andrew fellows really rock the beards. I mean, Andrew.
Am I nothing to you?
I mean, you're sort of a
Look at that beard on him.
growing Andrew.
The funny thing is Andy doesn't actually have a chin. The beard is the only thing providing any kind of form and function here.
That is
Andy,
100%
Andrew,
what my
Andy,
wife tells me.
She won't let
Gonna
me
shave it all off.
Yeah, he's not allowed to shave it.
As the hair kind of retreats from here, it just kind of migrates down here. So this becomes this is like 5 weeks worth of growth.
Yeah, that's why I wear a hat. It hasn't
Exactly.
gone away, but I'm waiting for it to go away.
It's inevitable. Wow, we're here to talk about books, and it's just beard. I mean, this is really the best
Beard
part
talk with
about it.
Andrews.
Yeah. I'll just leave.
Oh,
now.
we have 3 Andrews in a room. We
We
three
do have.
Andrews in a room.
It's
We
an
have
audacity. This is the first audacity.
Yes,
we finally did it. We have an audacity. Yes, a group of Andrews is officially on Audacity. It has been
Excellent.
decided. Yes. Awesome. Well, we want to hear all about your book.
Yes.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I don't have any books on me. I'm traveling to visit family, so thank you, Andrew. No, put his camera on.
Oh,
His
yeah.
is more interesting.
There we go.
He's got the book. So those are probably the 2 that I'm best known for. The Darkblade series, half demon, badass assassin with the cursed dagger that drives him to kill, dark, epic, violent, bloody. I mean, everything that I love about fantasy. And then the Night Guild series, which that cover is just so pretty.
Gorgeous.
It's basically thieves and assassins and poisoners and just this dark, gritty thieves guild story. So all of my series, I actually have 6 series, including there's four series set in the same world, which is the Silent Champions is military fantasy. Darkblade is dark epic fantasy. Child of the Night Guild is grimdark. And then the Heirs of Destiny is young adult action adventure. They're all interconnected. The story the characters come through. The hunter is kind of like the one who shows up in all of them to varying degrees. And his shadow is felt in all. So it's a lot of fun, real Marvel comic style. And then I have a sci-fi series, which is actually in the second book in the series, they fly over this planet. It's the planet where all these stories take place. And it's like off limits, like Star Trek style because of dangerous and unpredictable energy readings. So I was like, yes, I can figure out how to connect it. And then my Dragon Blood Assassin series that I co-wrote with Jamie Castle. I haven't figured out how to connect it yet. I'm thinking some kind of like weird magical portals or something, but the day will come when I connect it together. So everything will cross over.
Awesome. How long have you been writing?
So I actually literally started 8 years ago this week kind of thing. I was visiting my brothers. I was living in Mexico, visiting my brothers in Vancouver for our first brotherly get together. And I was like, you know what? I could probably write a book. So on the plane, as I was traveling to and from Vancouver, I wrote the graphic novel script that would eventually become Darkblade.
Wow.
Awesome.
I'm already planning on picking up the next 6 in this. It's already on my Amazon wish list.
Okay,
I haven't even
cool.
read it yet, and I'm already planning on buying them.
They're definitely big books. So that one is like the average, and it's 220. The one I just finished now is a super short one at 195 because my editor, it was originally 370, and my editor, he's like, Andy, we're splitting this book, so now it's 2 books.
Excellent.
And it's better than having your editor cut 70,000 words out of your book like you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I didn't realize you were so prolific.
You know what? I just sit down and I type a lot. I'm a little bit of a workaholic, but it's like, it's therapy, it's entertainment, it's sanity. So it's great to just sit down and hammer out words.
Absolutely. And an author tuber.
Yeah, former, yes.
Well,
reformed
author tuber. I constantly see little videos of you popping up giving writing advice.
Oh, I try to be useful and practical, share what I know, but at the end of the day, who am I? I'm just one more guy who writes stories. So it's like,
I just read the books.
Exactly. But reading a lot of books gives you a degree of expertise and understanding that writing a lot of books can never really do. I will say that, like, since I've started reading a lot more, I've read about 100 books in the last year. I've gotten really lucky that I got like a lot of really good reads, and I'm starting to understand a lot more about books, but also about myself as a reader and a person that I don't think I could ever have gotten through just writing. Because you're writing one story, and that one story can take you 3 to 6 months to 2 years to write, depending on how long. Whereas you can go through a book, if you do a book in a weekend, you can get 100 different stories, 100 different points of view. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Andy, for coming on. I really appreciate you doing that. And,
thank you for having me.
Yeah,
enjoy your vacation
down below.
Yes. And you guys are gonna have to get the 3 of you together to make another
we need to do it on
Audacity.
Audacity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Done.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, have a good rest of your family visit.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Right there.
Thanks for popping out in the middle of a visit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. It gives me an excuse
Oh,
to disengage from the family. I'm very much an introvert. So it's nice, to be extroverted for a little while and then, oh no, I have work things to do.
Right.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yes.
Thank you,
Happy
Andy.
holidays.
See you, Andy.
Okay, we're gonna try. Oh, here she go. We're gonna try to do a connection here for one of our authors who's having a little video, and if not, we'll get her in a minute.
Here's her book.
Can we hear you, Jackie? Can you hear us?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's not doing any
So
of it.
we're gonna get back to Jackie in a minute.
Okay.
And we're gonna tap Mark in. He
Mark,
just got here.
Surprise!
Here he is.
Hello. Good thing I was ready. I was just outside. Yay, that's my book. Hello. Happy is
like Vanna White.
Saturday night for you guys. Sunday morning for me in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah. So hi.
Well, thank you for joining so early.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for inviting me along. I appreciate it. So I get to talk about my books now.
Yes.
Please do.
All right. So I have notes because I find talking about the story is very difficult for me without giving away major spoilers. So
Right.
I made notes. I'm going to give you the background that leads into the story, and hopefully that's epic. So for those of you who don't know, I am Mark Timoney. I am the author of the Eye of Eternity series, and Andrew is being my amazing display person. Thank you very much. Those are the books, The Blood of the Spear and the novella Starbinder. So The Blood of the Spear is an epic fantasy steeped in prophecy and adventure. It follows two half-brothers, Carl and Darian, as they discover that they are the inheritors of a forbidden bloodline. So you see, for centuries, the summoners led humanity to heights undreamt of by their starfaring forefathers. But in the pursuit of power and immortality, 10 summoners opened a gateway to the void and fell prey to demonic possession. The war that followed destroyed the civilization that the summoners had built, and the Sundering changed the face of the world forever. At the war's end, a seer foresaw that with the tear in the veil, demons would forevermore hunt those born with the mark of the summoner. And since that time, even though records held in the shrines of the elder gods venerate the summoners as saviors, people have feared them as destroyers. So any child born with the mark, or any man or woman upon whom it appears, is executed before they might fall prey to possession and unleash forces that can't be controlled. But in the chaotic years after the Sundering, other seers were plagued with conflicting visions and prophecies. They saw that the summoners would return, and that demonic hordes would also come again, and that an Emperos, the most powerful of all the summoners, would be born, and in their hands they would hold the world's salvation or its destruction. So 3,000 years later is where the Blood of the Spear takes off. And the broken continent of Athme still bears the scars of the War of the Summoners. So when an unexpected battle between a demon reveals Kyle and Darian's connection to a forbidden summoner bloodline, they find themselves on the run from a multitude of different factions, including a prince, demonic hordes, and a new prophecy that could break the world anew. Only by accepting their inheritance can they find freedom, but first they need to survive. So the Blood of the Spear, I can't see Andrew at the moment, so here it is. The Blood of the Spear has got ancient prophecies, lost magics, it's got strong female characters, sibling rivalry, found families, and the demon hunter vibes. My other book or novella, Starbinder, is a prequel novella set approximately 500 years after the Sundering, and it's the story of Rihanna, who is the character on the front. Rihanna's been raised by a harsh grandmother who blames her for the death of her daughter, Rihanna's own mother. And when bandits attack their camp, Rihanna flees the safety of the caravans to pursue the abductor of her younger cousin, heedless of any dangers. And as the title suggests, it also explores the Shalloway Starbinders that you meet in the Blood of the Spear. So I guess if you love epic fantasy or classic fantasy fueled by demons, coming of age crews, an expansive world inspired by the likes of Robert Jordan and Janie Wirtz, then these books could be for you. And for this weekend, The Blood of the Spear is on sale for 99 cents. I am involved in Thiago's mega sale, so it's been amazing. You can find The Blood of the Spear on Amazon. You can get physical books at all good bookshops, including awesome indies like The Broken Binding in the UK and Silverstone's books in the US. You can also get Blood of the Spear on audio. And you can find Starbinder in all the same places. But if you want to try it for free, you can sign up to my newsletter and get the book, a link to download the book. And if you're not interested in the hassle of signing up to a newsletter, you can get it for 99 cents on Amazon.
Awesome. And you said Janie Wirtz too. That's a huge sell for me too.
Yeah, she's amazing. I've actually known her for years. Like back when the internet was first starting as a thing with forums. I am involved in her website and the forums there, so we've chatted for years. She's just an amazing lady. She actually read Blood of the Spear and gave me a cover blurb as well.
Awesome.
So she is an awesome person.
Yes, she is. She really is.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mark, so much for
Incredible covers.
Yeah, I love those covers.
Who's the artist?
Felix Ortiz.
Of course.
This is one of my favorite covers.
Yeah.
That
and good problem to have. He now has a wait list of like 12 months. So book 2, which is not yet finished, it's coming, but book 2 will be out next year, but I have to wait until this time next year to get my cover. So you're just gonna have to wait. Sorry.
Yep. I guess you have to write a couple more novellas in the meantime.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I've got to. He does the novella covers as well, so it's like
Yeah.
I actually have a 2.5 planned after book 2. So as soon as I get the cover for book 2, I'll be like, put me on the plan for 2.5. Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Have
Thank
a
you
great
so much,
weekend.
Mark. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
Bye.
Bye. All right. We have Jackie. You gotta unmute yourself on your end.
Hello. I was
Oh!
muted. There's my book. One of them. I was having some technical difficulties, so
That's okay.
I
That's why we
made
have
it.
people send some recordings, so we have room for float. It's
Yep.
all good.
Yeah.
This is
All good.
wonderful.
And Mark is great.
So
So
yeah, I was freaking out, and then I was like, I can't get in. Oh no. But I'm here now.
You
excellent.
are.
Well, Kay mentioned your book earlier too, so you've been with us.
Oh yeah. One
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. So there.
Well, all right. So tell us about your book.
Okay, before I forget, because I will forget at the end, I have a very large novel that is on sale on ebook right now. Yeah, that Andrew has. And it is on sale in Thiago's big sale. So that's that's one thing I need to mention before I forget. And the other one is currently on a paperback sale, but it's a novella. So yeah, and Andrew has that too.
And that one's in Sphinx this year too.
So, sorry?
That one's in Sphinx this year, isn't it?
Yeah, this one's in Sphinx. The other one was in Spiffbo at one point. And they're all linked. The sales are linked in my link tree, which is included below the video. So before I forget to, because I would forget to mention that. Yeah, so I'm also very, very bad at this. So I'm gonna try, but it's a bit tough. Oh, which one's easier to talk about? So this one's probably easier to talk about. This is my novella. It is called Your Blood and Bones. It is a dark kind of fantasy novella, standalone, with some elements of horror, mostly body horror. So it has content warnings for body horror, self-harm, and gore, but it is pretty tame. It's just, compared to the other one, it's much darker. So if you like my other work, you might just want to be warned about that. And it's about a girl who is turning into a monster. And it's in a world where basically when people find these monsters, they kill them. So it's not a good thing to be turning into a monster, if that wasn't obvious from the name. This is kind of experimental. None of the characters have names. None of the places have names. It's an interesting one. And it's in Sphinx. What else should I say about this one? Like I said, I'm very, very bad at this. Some people have described it as a dark fairy tale, an original dark fairy tale. So it's not a retelling of anything. It is inspired by a song. And yeah, it's like a journey, searching for hope, like a reason to live. And finding it and then losing it and then finding it, etc. Just as hope tends to be in real life. And it's very beautiful.
What song is it inspired by?
Sorry?
What song is it inspired by?
It's a song called Your Bones by Of Monsters and Men. It's fun to listen to before, during, or after reading. I think people have enjoyed that kind of connection.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it kind of came to me like almost just like through an obsession. Like I played the song like 500 times and I just kind of like thought of the story while I was playing the song 500 times. So
why no character names and no place names? Just so
I think like after everything is said and done, I think it lends to the fairy tale quality, because it kind of like it reads as like a story that could happen over and over again. because the people from this village who the story is about, it's about a girl and a boy, and they're called the girl and the boy. And I think it kind of like allows it to be like any girl and any boy in one of these little villages turning into monsters. So yeah, and I don't know. I didn't want to be like close to the characters. I wanted to be like a bit removed in the writing aspect.
Yeah.
So
That's such a neat idea. Yeah.
I think it only works for a short piece though, because it was, it's a bit difficult, and also sometimes people get a bit annoyed. But I think overall reactions have been positive. So, and I should talk about this one. It's very hard to talk about because it is very complicated. Because it's gigantic. So this one is on sale in the ebook sale. It's on sale for 99 cents. It's called Daughters of Tith. This is my debut novel. It's like a high/epic fantasy. And it is very different from what, you usually find. And it's so different that it's a bit difficult to describe because it's set on a non-Earth-like secondary world, which is like an infinite plane of existence, which is made up of half water and half desert, and it's infinite, so it's half of infinity, which is fun to think about. And it features a non-human people who live here on this very strange world. And what else? They're not, they're humanoid, but they're very philosophically different from humans. It's basically about like these people have lost their purpose, and it's trying to get back to the purpose, and whether they should go back to their purpose, and that's basically what it's about. And it's an interesting, different story structure, different place, different magic, different characters, just very different. You'll enjoy it if you like massive world building. I'm reading notes now. New worlds and experiences, and conversations. So there's a lot of talking in this book, and a lot of the conversations are characters actually changing through conversation, which I think isn't very common, or at least I haven't found it to be very common. So most of the conversations are very complicated, complex. It's a slower build with emotional payoffs, and there's no romance. And it's about 5 sisters, and I don't think I can do any better than that. This is the hardcover. It's very pretty. Oh yeah, there you go. I couldn't see that.
That is gorgeous.
I just noticed that this was underneath here, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's Tith, I should say. So it's called Daughters of Tith, and this big tree, the one in the middle, that is Tith. So if that makes that more interesting for you. So it's about his daughters.
Good job.
So beautiful. Yeah, well done. Good job. And
Good
guys,
job.
the ebook,
Oh,
that
thank you.
content book for only 99 cents. So you got to pick
Stupid.
that up.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very big.
oh my
Very
goodness.
fun.
That is quite the deal.
Yes,
How many
thank
pages?
you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
You did great.
Great.
Fun.
Happy
That was very
holidays.
stressful, but wonderful. Okay, bye. Happy holidays.
All right.
So we went from one Jackie
To another Jackie.
to another Jackie.
To Jacqueline.
Dragon Hagen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got so excited.
Hey.
We all did.
I am so excited. So I am actually listening to Wickwire Watch right now.
Really?
As an audiobook. I love it. It is so good.
Oh,
Oh
awesome.
my goodness.
I was going to tell you, Andrew, if you'd given me a couple months more warning, I would have had time to change my name to Andrew and maybe grow, a little
Yes.
beard to kind of match the theme. But I appreciate
what?
you inviting me on.
You don't need to conform to our audacity. You can have your own audacity.
Anti-conformity. Yeah.
Yeah. Tick to your own clock.
Speaking of clocks, what a great segue. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
I'm here today to talk to you guys about my series. So I'm Jacqueline Hagen. I am the author of the Riverfall Chronicles. It's planned to be a 6 or 7 book series. There are 3 books currently available right now. The first of which is The Wickwire Watch. This is a story about a boy who discovers one day that he's being hunted down by dark spirits that he never knew existed. And the only people who can keep him safe are a group of fugitives on the run. I'm not in keeping with being mysterious as the book is, I'm not going to go too much further into plot detail, but I will tell you that it is a blend of mystery, gas lamp fantasy, which, if you don't know, simply means that it's set in an alternative Victorian England 19th century kind of setting. There is also an element of horror to it, and even a fair amount of cozy fantasy. So if you are intrigued by cobblestone streets and carriages and fog and kind of a gothic vibe in a sense, try giving this book a shot. Like I said, this is the very first one. I'm very fortunate as well to be a SPIFBO 9 finalist. So Wickwire Watch is in the running there. The sequel is The Spider Key. Both of these books are also available in audio as well, if you're interested in that. The Spider Key is the second one, and the third one just came out a couple months ago. That's The Blue Flames. That's the third book in the series. And like I said, there will be more to follow. Book 4 is planned for sometime around spring of next year. But as a final addition to pitching this book to you guys, I do have, in the spirit of anti-conformity, I do have an anti-pitch. I have a couple of warnings I wrote down for readers. And here's the first one. If you like predictable stories, do not read this book. If you like your stories to be tied up in a nice, neat bow at the end, you will be upset with me. If you don't want stories that slowly lure you in with a mysterious atmosphere and deliberate world building, don't read this book. If you need everything explained, probably don't read this book. And as I stated before, if you don't like anything to do with mystery, cozy fantasy, or horror, I don't know, maybe still give it a shot. But those are my warnings. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
That is
One of the best
fantastic.
first lines in any story I've ever read.
Yeah. Well, and the audiobook is read so well. I love the narrator. He is so good.
It's read by Wayne Farrell, who also narrated JCM Burns' book, Wistful. Yeah, what it's called. He's a fantastic narrator, but yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so good. I just got to the pocket watch, so now.
Oh, okay, great.
Now I know where that comes from.
And I forgot to mention it is on sale for 99 cents on Amazon, and it will be for a week on sale.
Excellent.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And like she said, it's a finalist. And it's just, I hope you see all these people going crazy about your book in the chat over here. It has been such a good read. Yeah. Everyone's been talking about it, and everyone's been telling me you have to read this book because I love mystery and I love
cozy.
And 19th century and all of that. They're like, okay, you have to read this.
You'll have to tell me what you think when you finish it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we need to do an interview. So now that I've met you, I can invite you to that.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack.
Happy holidays to you all.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
And again, links below. So be sure to check out her book, and on sale for a whole week.
Yeah.
So yeah. Excellent.
All right. We have EC Ed Greaves coming on now.
Can you
the
hear
other
me
side
all
of the
right?
world.
From the, I was gonna say it's sunny there. What?
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. I was going to say, look at that. We actually have summer weather for the first. It was pissing down yesterday. Oh wait, that's probably a Kiwiism. It was raining yesterday. Actually, I shit you not. I was talking to Lyons, and I had to find like a list of all the slang we use that she had no idea about. Like we'll say like choice as bro, but that just means cool. And like it's so hard to do. But yeah, it's been miserable here. So now it's nice to have actual good summer Kiwi weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Her
good to be with
sister
you.
was there for a year, and so she came back saying sweet ass.
Yeah. You say sweet as and yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
I have to explain it's the last word in that. So if it's yeah, nah, then it's no. If it's nah, yeah, then it's yes. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm so
in now.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
Well, I am very excited to hear about your book.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't practice or anything. I'm just winging
That's okay.
it.
Go for it.
I wrote Daughter of the Beast. It's and it is part of the Vashivka trilogy. That's named for Ukrainian stitching, but I deliberately spelt it wrong, and now I kind of regret it. But that's named after this, which is Vyshivanka. It's like they used to, back in the medieval times or before, they'd embroider stuff that meant stuff, but now it's just cool patterns. And the books themselves are sort of dark Slavic fantasy coming of age story that follows a little girl who's captured by these giant dog people and raised by them. And the story follows her, I suppose you could call it like a descent into becoming as they are. So she goes from wanting to escape to sort of embracing the culture. She's raised and trained with their own pups, their own children, to become a raider. She has no idea why. And so people who've read the first one may be a little disappointed that that actual explanation isn't fully told in that, but that's because there are three of them. There's Sister of the Dead and Mother of the Bond, and they're all meant to be sort of read in one go, I guess, because the whole mystery is explained, and it follows her from being a little kid through to her teenage years to then being sort of a young adult, and becoming, I suppose, you could say, like sort of a villain of her own, but at the same time trying to fight against like imperialism. A group of well, actually, I should probably explain. There are no humans in the series. She's a Kikimora, and then there are Domovoi, which they call goblins. Volkari, based on the Baltic Soglav, and so they're all Slavic creatures and critters. And the Domovoi, the goblins, are trying to conquer the world. There are two empires fighting, and the Volkari, the wild dog people, are kind of caught in between that. And they live in a matriarchal but somewhat egalitarian society. They don't want to be, oppressed by empires of either sort. So they ally with them as convenient, but basically want to be free. And so the story follows her being used as a tool to attain that freedom and embracing it. But yeah, so I would love to have said that Felix Ortiz did my covers, but these were done by Phil Eds Ort Greaves. I just did them myself. I chucked an illustration in each of the hardback versions.
By the way.
But,
So don't downplay that.
You did them?
Those are great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I painted them myself. Yeah.
You painted that. What medium you're using?
Oh, so it was Photoshop. It was just like using brushes in Photoshop, but like I like I do sketches and drawings and stuff occasionally. I don't know. I've always done it, and so I was trying to shop around for like a cover artist when I was first writing them.
Yeah.
And my sister was like, "Don't you do drawings anyway?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of do." She was like, "You should just do it," because I'd done like thumbnails of what I wanted them to look like. She was like, "Just actually paint one," So I did.
Well, you did incredible. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and the font too, because that's part of it too, right? Is getting a font.
Yeah, getting your layout right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put them up for feedback online. A guy was asking about that, and he suggested changing the mother of, sister of, etc. from gold to white. But I did them like kind of 3D because I was really hoping there was a place I could get them so that bit would like stick out. You can get that on some books. It's like bubbly. I don't know what it's called. But I couldn't, so I just made it look like it was. But maybe not.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible. It's so evocative.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
thank you.
It captures
Yeah.
the you just pitched.
I forgot to mention as well. Like so. Sister of the Daughter of the Beast. That's right. I knew I'd screw up which one was which. This one is in SPFBO as a finalist now as well.
Yeah,
Team Bookborn.
Yeah, it's the one. Thanks, Dom, and thanks, Bookborn. So yeah, that's been pretty cool. Like, it's my debut. Like the first book I ever wrote, and well, I wrote 3 of them, I suppose. Yeah.
Awesome.
Dom really liked it.
Yeah. I joined this Discord server and saw that the people were reading along with it, and I was like, I don't know if I should be here. Like, I don't know if I can handle people saying stuff about shit I did, but it's cool.
It's on my list to pick up.
Oh, rad! I hope you get to it. I hope you enjoy it. It'd be really embarrassing if you didn't know. You're like, this is the worst book I've ever read. Who the hell is this guy?
I mean, hey, it wasn't my semifinalist from Team Bookborn, so
fair play.
That's already one notch against it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, the bribery money didn't clear.
Right.
So it's the exchange rate, hey, like Kiwi
Exchange
dollars
rate,
are worth nothing again. You get like $4 in your bank account, like that. That's
Yeah.
for
the coffee.
My house deposit.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for
so much,
joining us from way over there.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was a really confusing time. I actually had to Google what mountain time was. I can't believe it's real.
Yes.
That's amazing. I'm so stoked. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Ed.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah, have
coming.
a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Happy
Cheers,
holidays.
you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, we have with us now Louise Holland, also from the bottom side of the world.
Really? Oh, awesome.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me all right?
I hear you all right.
Oh, fantastic. I was fighting with my microphone for a good 15 minutes there. So it's good to hear. Good to hear that you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
I also had to Google what mountain time was. I thought it would be like middle American, not sure. Yeah, mountain. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yep. We like to be surprising.
Well, we understand that you are an author.
I am, yes.
Yeah,
I'm officially a published author.
Recently came out.
Yes, I'm here to talk about my debut novel, Spark of the Divine, which released 3 days ago on November 24th.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a whirlwind. It's been pretty crazy. It peaked at 38 on the Amazon AU bestseller list.
Awesome.
And 8 on the new release list, which was super cool. We're not going to talk about the American one because there's apparently 700 million more American books than there are Australian books, but I'm gonna take the win on the Australian one.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the general idea of Spark of the Divine came from, have you ever looked around your Dungeons and Dragons table at the people you're playing with and thought, this is crazy, but this would make a really good book? Because I did, and then I wrote it. But you don't have to be a D&D player to have a good time reading Spark of the Divine. It is a fantasy for all levels of fantasy enjoyer, from the veterans to the entry. It follows a group of adventurers as they attempt to restore the power of a god who's been attacked, and to stop the siphoning of future god powers. It's got everything that I wanted to have in a fantasy book. It starts with a heist and it just gets weirder from there. There's realm shifting, there's battles, there's swords and sorcery, a surprising romance, and even a car chase. Well, like a carriage chase. And of course, there's a master ball at one point, because why even write a book if you can't put a master ball in there? I've had dreams of being an author pretty much my whole life, since I was writing fan fiction in little Word documents when I was like 8 on my giant cream 1995 Windows PC. And I would consider Sanderson, Hobb, and Raymond Feist as my main author influences, as well as, your classics like Lord of the Rings. And my favorite movie is Stardust. So if you like any of those things, you'll probably enjoy my writing. Spark has been described as the comforting, character-driven 80s style fantasy of your dreams, by Esme, which was probably one of the biggest compliments I've ever heard in my life. I'm probably going to get that tattooed on me somewhere. It was gorgeous. Spark is a multi-POV third-person book, and she is chonky. She is 632 pages in Kindle format. So when she does eventually come out in paperback form, you will be able to use her as a weapon, which is something I always wanted to sort of have there as a bonus. It explores themes of grief, faith after loss, motherhood, how far you'll go for people that you believe in. And I've lost where I'm talking, but I'm really proud of it. And I think that people who love fantasy and love reading in it at its core will really enjoy reading Spark, because it has everything that I love to read out of a fantasy. And I've read a lot of fantasy, so the good and the bad.
That sounds amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
write what you want to read.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And
Yeah,
you sound
pretty
proud
much.
of it.
Yes.
I'm online reading the description right now.
Yeah.
Hey. And my beautiful cover. I don't have a paperback yet. We're not going to talk about why. It's been a time. But this is my beautiful, beautiful cover.
Was it
The
page
artist-
restriction?
Wow.
Say what?
Was it page restriction?
No, it was the fact that I did all my typography, which is fine, except I don't know what DPI means. Or at least I didn't a week ago.
Yeah.
So she looks gorgeous in digital format, but trying to get it ready for print is not a good time. I also so the cover artist is a man named Mike Knott. He is one of my closest friends, and he's a fantastic artist.
Yes.
He is a tattooist actually, so he's I've got multiple tattoos from him on my body, and now I get to have my book done by him too, which was very cool. And he's not in this book because his character joined the campaign a little bit later, so he'll be in the next one.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else y'all want to know?
Well, I love your comparison to Stardust. That's got me in.
Yep.
Love Stardust.
Yes. God, I love that book. That book and that movie so much. It's actually it's one of the only movies that's better than the book, I reckon.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. It's so gorgeous. And even like just changing Tristran to Tristan, like
yes. Yeah.
So good.
Exactly. Yeah. I love Esme's review. That's definitely a tattoo worthy.
Yeah, it was incredible. I've had so many. It's been serendipitous. I've had so many just like amazing reviews from people that I don't even know how they found me. Just the fates of the Twitter timeline have been kind to me.
Yeah,
but Twitter can get you snapped up real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, it was fantastic. I was very lucky.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us from the other side of the world.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's 8:30 here, so not as early as I thought. So yeah, definitely better than it could have been.
Good.
It's 5 p.m. here.
No one wants to get up at 5 a.m.
Except for you,
Except for me.
right? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we were here to celebrate with you your release.
Yes,
and
congrats.
so everybody go out and pick up another copy. We've got the link down below, and let's shoot her up higher on the
let's go
the
for number
Amazon
one.
rankings here.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks
Bye.
for coming. Happy holidays.
You too.
All right. Up next we have
Mike Mullman.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So, Jimmy, just 1 second. I'm not quite ready yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, I'm Mike Mullman, and I've written 3 books so far in the Pertani series. Andrew has them all. And for mine, when I started writing, I never wanted to be a writer until about 2017, and this is coming off now. Sorry, I tried. And so when I decided to write my fantasy book, I said, there are enough medieval fantasy books. I want to do something a little different. And I don't really like Flintlock. So I went earlier and I settled on the Druids because I've always been kind of fascinated by them. So I researched the world and, figured about 300 BCs, about the right time. And I looked at the Druids and what they did and how they were the leaders of their society because they were pre-literate and all this. And I got all the world building and got it a wonderful world. And then to that, I introduced Grami, who, as I describe him when I go to Comic-Cons, Grami is in his early 20s, very powerful, and he makes frequent, really poor decisions. And that's pretty much how the book goes. He gets in over his head. He gets help sometimes, sometimes not, and he basically has to scramble to try to survive. And in the wake of his disasters, he pulls the rest of the world with him, and it's going to conclude with an all-out battle in the 7th and final book. And that's pretty much the series. I don't know what else to tell you. When I get feedback from Grami, the number one complaint I get is that they don't like the main character. And I don't want to tell people they're wrong, but when I wrote this, I was like, is he really dumb enough to do that? Yes. Yes, he is. So I'm kind of laughing at him as I'm writing him. So if you take him seriously and you want to, I'm like, no, he's an idiot. Don't pin all your hopes on him. It will not go well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the world I wrote.
So when did book 3 come out?
Book 3 came out in December of last year, and book 4 will be coming out in January.
Okay. coming up.
And then I talked to a number of writers because I struggled. Awesome map. I talked to a lot of writers. And I said, I've just been struggling this book for. It's just been so hard. And the one looked at me and goes, are you trying to write a 7-book series in one after the other with no breaks? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And he's like, that's the dumbest thing you can do. You'll get ground into dust. So I'm going to depart and go to 24th Century Mars as soon as this book is published. Okay. And then I will come back and do the next book in this series. So
yeah, that'll be a great way to cleanse the palate.
Yeah. I don't know. I pulled up one thing. The first knockdown, drag out review that I got, and I was just floored. And I was like, he clearly didn't read the right book. But Nick P. from the book scene, he wrote a spellbinding adventure with intrigue, high stakes conflict, fun, great characters, rich world building, and of course, lashings of awesome druidic magic. And I read that, I'm like, what book did he read? I got to get that. So it's been amazing. I wanted to publish a book because I could, and I wanted it to be decent. And what I've got has been way over whatever I had ever expected. So it's been a wild ride, and now I'm convinced I just must write books. So I will write them till God knows when.
Awesome.
I love it. I'll read them.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Mike. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have got links down below. I got my hand in the right spot now.
Oh, I should probably mention I am also in Chiago's sale.
Awesome. Yes. Yep.
All 3 of my books are 99 cents.
Excellent.
And I don't remember signing up for EL Cannons, but I did apparently. And that runs till January 5th. Okay. So all my books are 99 cents until next year.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
That's
wow.
Great.
All right.
Get on it now.
So, yeah, stock up.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, thank you, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
All right.
We have.
So up we have my friend, Brook Peterson. Uh-oh. She's coming through.
Hi, you guys.
Yes, hello.
Hello. It's so great to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're going to change gears.
Yes.
This is a big gear change.
That's okay. We've hit several different genres over the last have we been going for 2 hours now?
2 hours.
Yes. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's been great. We have something for everybody. So, Brooke, what do you write? What genre first? And then tell us.
Yeah. So I am in the cozy mystery genre. So that, people who like the Spokane Clock Tower mysteries, hopefully, will also like the Jericho Falls cozy mysteries. This is book 1. This is a history of murder. There are 3 novels so far in the series. It's followed up by a collection of secrets, which get my thing right here. And then a display of deception is book 3. And I'm currently working on book 4. I also have a few novellas that are holiday themed in that same series. And probably the one I draw attention to is The Present Predicament, because 2 things. Obviously, it's holiday themed. This one's the Christmas holiday novella, but it's also free in ebook form. So wherever you buy your ebooks, you can get The Present Predicament for free and try out the Jericho Falls Cozy Mysteries. But these are set in a fictional town called Jericho Falls, which is in Nevada in this world. And it's really similar to if you've ever visited Virginia City, Nevada, or Tombstone, Arizona, or something like that. That was my inspiration. But so our main character, Chloe, reluctantly goes back to Jericho Falls and ends up falling, literally tripping over the dead guy in their flower bed, and then has to clear her grandmother's name. So we have all the perfect cozy tropes where you've returned to your hometown. Of course, there's a cute sheriff. So these guys, have like a little love thing going on. And so this is the Jericho Falls Cozy Mysteries. I also have a podcast that Patricia has wonderfully come on and spoken on to teach us all about Anna Katherine Green, which was really fun. And what else do I do?
Well, what's that called?
Oh, maybe I should mention the name of my podcast. Yeah. Clued in Mystery. And I co-host that with Sarah M. Stephen, who's also a mystery author. And she's just great. And we really approach that from the position of fans. So we talk all things mystery as far as, we do author bios and we talk about tropes. We talk about TV shows. We just kind of just cover the gamut of the mystery space and have a lot of fun.
And the history behind it and everything. The other thing I wanted to say that I love about her series is the snarky grandma. She's got a
I do have a thing for grandma and granddaughter relationships, but I do love grandma too. Grandma Lily is kind of a hoot.
They have a fantastic relationship. It's so, it's very, completely switching from some of the other fantasies we've been talking about. This is cozy, heartwarming. I don't want to say Hallmark because it's different than Hallmark. So, but it's, just that comforting, especially the Christmas one is just a comforting Christmas classic. Good one to curl up with at this time.
Thank you so much.
So.
Hey, I would take a Hallmark contract.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So,
thank you guys so much. Thanks for organizing this. I know it was no small feat. It's a lot of moving parts. So you guys did awesome. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're able to join us live too. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll have a link for your books down below, and
Perfect.
Like you said, the Christmas one's free right now, right?
It has been free for a really long time, but I will mention that might be ending in 2024. So it's a good time to go snatch it up.
Christmas, pick it up, and then you've got an easy Jolabokaflod read for that night. So
Exactly.
Perfect. Excellent.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooke.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. All right. And then up next we have Derek
Bailey. Here he comes.
Hello.
Everyone.
Hey, Derek. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me here, and thanks for hosting this.
Yeah, it's great to see you in person now too. We just talk online.
Yeah.
I know. We've had so many chats. It feels like we've met, but we haven't. But yeah, great to be here. So for those who don't know me, I'm Derek Bailey, the author of several kind of unrelated books. I've got one that's like a modern mythology, where 5 gods create a world out of nothing. I've got one that's more of like a high school, YA superhero fantasy. But the one I want to talk about today is the Voidwalker collection that Kay actually mentioned at the beginning, and Nico as well. So this is the one that's on sale as part of Thiago's like indie sale on the ebook version. Obviously, this is the paperback, so it does have a paperback and hardcover edition as well. So this is a bind up of 8 episodic novellas that tell the story of a man who lives kind of in, a world that's pretty much just our own. But at night, he goes to this kind of creepy, mysterious manor that's more supernatural. And there's these fancy people that throw really lavish parties, but then things start to go wrong and get really violent and get really dark. And he starts trying to figure out, like, what's happening. Is this like a dream? Is this a psychotic breakdown? Is this something more supernatural in nature? What's happening? It starts to affect, his daily life as he starts to go through some personal drama. And like Kay said at the beginning, it's definitely a little bit spooky, kind of like a little bit of Black Mirror or Twilight Zone or something like that. So there's definitely a couple different genres. So this is, part fantasy, part thriller, part like maybe a little bit of light horror elements, and then some part contemporary drama as well. And it all kind of plays out in this episodic structure. So each novella doesn't necessarily have like a firm conclusion, but there's kind of a full cycle that goes kind of like a high budget Netflix show or some other streaming platform show. And that sort of, runs through all the different stuff. Little hard to get into specifics because it is very much like a mystery in nature. So you're not really supposed to know what's going on, maybe who is good, who's bad, if you can really trust everything that the main character tells you through his first person perspective. So that's kind of the general gist of what this is about, without getting into details. Nico has an amazing review of it on his channel if you want to check that out. Like I said, it is 99 cents as part of Thiago's sale. So if you want to check it out there, definitely do so. It's also available as part of like 8 separate Kindle versions as well. I'd actually released them individually first, and then I did this bind up. So the first 2 of those are free for, I think, the whole weekend. So if you want to just check them out, without any price tag whatsoever, feel free to do that. So that's kind of like my general pitch. I think this would, work best for somebody who's interested in thriller type elements, for sure. Maybe that genre blending. I think we've had a couple authors on here today that have a nice little genre salad. So if that's kind of your thing, I think this could definitely work for you. It's part portal fantasy for sure, but it definitely dives into other types of fantasy and thriller type of subgenres. So definitely kind of a weird mix. If you're looking for something different, or if you just like the episodic structure and kind of reading it between other things, I think a lot of people have done that with good success. So I don't want to say it's quite like a palate cleanser in the same way that maybe like a Dresden book is, because this does deal with some heavier themes. And I should have mentioned, this is definitely like a firm, I would say 18 plus. There is some language, some other types of adult content in there. I think it's pretty tame compared to things like Dresden or The Witcher, stuff like that. But it's definitely there. So just a quick warning there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today.
Yeah, well, Kay described it as Clue meets Black Mirror.
Yes, yeah, Clue meets Black Mirror.
I've read the first novella. I've read the first novella, and I'm treating it episodically. So like whenever I feel the call for the next novella, I'll just reach for it, and I've got the ebook as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of wrote it with that intent in mind too, where it's like if you want to just read it like a little bit here, a little bit there, you can totally do that. The individual novellas will actually have like a recap, like the individual Kindle versions. I didn't do that for the collection just because it's kind of all one book, but yeah, it's kind of meant to be flexible in that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
so
like
much.
the writing of what I've read so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kay was saying she's really digging it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a buddy read, and then she dipped out on me and waited too long, and then now like I'm sitting here and I was like, I don't have time to read it.
She zigged and you zagged. I mean, she did have a wedding that month, to be fair. So.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna cut her some slack, fine.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Derek.
Yeah, thank you all, and I hope everybody has awesome weekend and awesome the holidays coming up. So whatever it is you celebrate, I hope it's amazing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Links down below. Pick it up, and I love the idea of being able to like sample it, a couple free ones, and then just pick up the whole thing. So awesome.
Cool.
That sounds
Thank you
great.
so much, Derek. Have a good rest of your weekend.
It was good talking to you, Derek.
Bye.
All right, and then
We have
Mr.
Rob.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. It's been a good holiday week so far. Looking forward to more holidays coming up. So,
And I think you two also just had a book release.
I did. I'm a published author as of this past Monday. This is my epic fantasy debut, Pathlighter. It is Greek mythology inspired, so not technically Greek mythology, just a lot of the themes from Greek mythology have inspired it, such as deities being more of a reflection of the world as it is, rather than what people want to be right, as well as heroes using their wits as well as their strengths to overcome challenges. That's something that I really enjoy. Pathlighter features a multitude of characters. The main character that we follow along with is James. He is inspired by characters in Greek mythology like Perseus and Hades, really has a lot of disdain for the gods, really is very upset with his lot in life, but still has a connection with the flame from the gods' temple. There also are run-ins with crazy Titan-like characters, many fearsome beasts. I think Matt from Beard of Darkness put out a review that said that he found my monsters to be horrifying, which I take as a point of pride. But I have visual aids for its influences as well. So the Odyssey by Homer is a big one. Frankenstein inspired a lot of the characters that I've written, as well as more contemporary stuff like Percy Jackson and the Olympians or Clash of the Titans, if you're a fan of epic schlocky movies. So yeah, I've been really excited to finally have this book out. It's been in the works for a very long time. And if you like stuff with unresolved trauma, God-driven magic, scary monsters, scrubbed history, a ragtag group of adventurers, and MC that's very distrusting, I think that this book would be amazing for you.
Awesome.
Which is
I see
why I needed to
Tori's
be
stories
added
down
to
there, and
my
you just said Motley Crue. So.
Yeah, Motley Crue is her sell point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a big selling point of mine, Tori.
Awesome.
The instant I heard about this one, I added it to my list.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So okay, so you compared it to Percy Jackson, but is it a kid? It's not a young
It
adult.
is not for the YA middle school type readers. It's more of a Percy Jackson that's a little more mature. So it definitely has a lot of elements of gods being portrayed as more human, more flawed, and maybe a little bit more relatable in that stretch. But it also does have quite a few dark themes, especially when it comes to unresolved trauma, revenge, and other things along those lines.
It's a great cover too.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it was Felix Ortiz cover. I did hear earlier that he is about 12 months booked out, so I think I might have to shoot him an email if I want to get a second book out there on time. But this is the first in a proposed trilogy. I'm also working on a standalone novella that's not connected, but is a little bit more of a light-hearted and fun, D&D-ish fantasy adventure. So.
That is great.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Well, congratulations on release week.
And welcome to the
That's awesome.
welcome to the author. Now you're an author.
No, it's a lot to take in, but it's been a great journey so far. Thank you so much for having me here. Let me talk about it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob.
Yeah, so definitely, pick up a copy. Link down below.
Absolutely.
And let's we'll get his rank up too.
Yeah.
On Amazon. Just go
Launch week's
crazy.
important.
Yeah, launch week is gonna kill it. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right. And then now we have Miss Rachel, my dear friend. Hello.
Hello.
So again, we're going to turn hard left here into not fantasy. So Rachel, what do you write? What genre? And then tell us a little bit about your series.
Okay. I write historical fiction. So the series I have going right now is called Once Upon a Western, and they're all historical fiction set in the American West, but they're also all fairy tale retellings. So they're technically teen fiction, also enjoyed by adults, sometimes enjoyed by younger kids than teens, just kind of depends on your reading ability. But the newest one that came out is My Rock and My Refuge, which came out last year, and it won a Willa Award and also a Pencraft Award recently. This one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling set in the Colorado mining communities, gold mining, silver mining, that kind of thing. It's about a German immigrant and her brother who take jobs working for a wealthy recluse with, he's got a lot of facial scarring from an animal attack, and then Beauty and the Beast kind of story results. And the one before that was Dancing in Donuts, which is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling set in Kansas. It's got a Civil War veteran who is trying to solve the mystery of who is spiking the punch or the apple cider at a dance hall run by a family with 12 daughters. The one before that was One Bad Apple, which is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, set in a wagon train on its way to Kansas. The wagon train is primarily made up of Black pioneers who are heading to Kansas to start new lives, but then they pick up 7 white orphans who are stranded alongside the road, and one of the orphans slowly discovers that the beautiful wife of the person kind of heading the wagon train is up to a lot of very bad things and causing some trouble. And the very first one was Cloaked, which is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, which is set in Wyoming. It's about a 16-year-old girl who goes to visit her grandmother, and there's someone that her grandmother has hired as an accountant who is definitely not a great guy, wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing, and the main character has to figure out how to stop him from ruining everything, basically. And I told them to you in reverse order because you can read these books in any order. They are a series, but they're all standalones. So they're interconnected, but they are not necessarily, you don't have to read them in a specific order. They're interconnected because characters from one will show up in later books, but they're not necessarily, they're not in a specific order. In fact, I've been writing them out of order because this one is in the 1880s. This one is the 1870s. This is the 1860s. This one is the 1870s also. So not writing them in the chronological order. You don't have to read them in any order. Just kind of pick the one that sounds the most interesting and start there. That's pretty much what I got for you.
Absolutely. I did want to make sure we mentioned that you can read them in any order. So I started with the 12 Dancing Princesses one because that's one of my favorite fairy tales, and so I loved the history in that and the mystery, and it's clear you do a lot of research for all your writing.
I do. I also write a newspaper column on Old West history, so I'm always researching. I'm always learning. Things that I learn while I'm researching my books will feed into that. Things that I learn for the newspaper column will feed into my books. So
exactly, yeah, and then how it just all ties together. So do you go to a specific historical town or anything to do any research? Do you do any hands-on research, or is it all online?
I do hands-on research when I can. We do have family that lives in the Midwest and in the West, and so when we visit them, I will try to hit up museums, historical sites, anything like that. I traveled a lot through the West when I was a kid. My family liked to take long vacations, so one vacation we followed the entire Oregon Trail all the way from Independence, Missouri to Oregon, and just seeing Windlass Hill in real life and stopping at Pony Express stations and things like that.
Wow.
Cool.
None of you caught dysentery?
I did not catch dysentery. None of us got bitten by snake. We didn't have to ford any rivers and lose our clothing and all our supplies or anything. But we lucked out.
Yeah, we've been playing the card game version of Oregon Trail with our kids. It's been no one survived it yet.
No. It is tricky. We have learned somehow. My middle child, she's always the one with all the things we need. Oh, somebody needs medicine. I have medicine. Yeah. Oh, we're running out of food. I have food.
Yeah.
Don't know why that happens.
Exactly. It's so funny. All right, so we can find your books. The link down below, and there's a couple sales going on.
Yes.
Right?
So all of my ebooks for these for Kindle are 99 cents right now. And they will be through Cyber Monday. So now is a good time to pick them up if you read Kindle books. If you don't, just have to pay the regular price.
Yep.
Sorry.
And you can order signed copies from Rachel also, which is what I have. So
yes, you can.
Nice signed copies. Yeah, they're beautiful. Yep. So I forget you do the art, the cover art?
I do not do the art. My sister-in-law is my cover artist. Actually, she has a degree in digital art, and so yeah.
I love the Americana historical. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, they have a good vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rachel.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, and then that's actually all we have for live people. We have a couple more videos though that we would love to share with you. So hold on to your hats. Who's the first one?
First we've got here is Naomi Cohen, who I narrated the audiobook for her book, The Fae of Castle Garden. She has a new book coming out on the 2nd. She's going to share about it right now.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Winter Queen's Tale. It's Jim Henson's Labyrinth meets Frozen in a new take on the original fairy tale. The tales warn of fairies lurking beyond the ironbound trees, eager to snatch wayward children. Yet at the onset of every winter, Neve and Vale cross the Iron's protection and dance to the Snow Bee's song. The year Neve comes of age, a fairy lord joins the dance. He tempts Neve into accepting a dangerous magic, and then steals Vale away. Alone in the Ice Palace, Vale will need all of his wits to survive. Fairies whisper behind every door, and elves watch in the shadows. The Snow Queen's court plays for blood. To rescue her brother, Neve journeys north. Ice answers her call, but with a terrible price. It will take more than dreams for Neve to master the magic. If she fails, both she and Vale will fall prey to winter's fury. The book comes out December 2nd. Is currently available for pre-order. Thank you.
So I describe her books, because Fairy Castle Garden, which I have read, takes place in New York City in the late 1800s. I describe her writing as if you could not get into Jonathan Strange because it was too dense, Naomi's books are perfect. They're really
that's good. That's a good selling point.
Exactly.
Because I want to read Jonathan Strange.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you love Jonathan Strange, you'll like this too. If you really, really want to read Jonathan Strange, but it's too much, then read Naomi's books because they'll do it for you. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, and then one more. This one's a little bit longer.
From Reed Logan Westgate.
Okay, here we go.
Hello and happy holidays. I'm urban fantasy author Reed Logan Westgate, and I'm happy to have this moment to share with you my books and my shared universe, the Baku-verse, as I affectionately call it. The Baku universe is a setting where magic and myth and monsters are all real. Lurking below the surface in our everyday lives, gods, angels, demons all vie, scheme, and fight over control, power, grabs, as Valeria the demon often says in my books, because they're bored. And it's jolly good fun. I'd like to take a few moments and introduce to you the 2-book series that I have out, the Baku Trilogy and the Soul Stealers Trilogy. So hang on just 1 second, and we'll dive into the Baku Trilogy. We start our journey through the Baku-verse with the original series, the Baku Trilogy. This series follows Ixtlina Dark Arrow, the descendant of the Baku, the mythological creature of Japanese lore and legend that consumes dreams. In Ixtlina's case, consumes nightmares specifically. As the dream realm is fluid, this gives her visions of past and present horrors and things that she feels she has to go confront and try to prevent, which causes Ixtlina to go out and get into all types of trouble as she hunts down creatures from beyond the mist. As she gets entangled in the schemes and webs of demons, she meets Oxivius Soul Stealer, the necromancer who, by all rights, should be everything she's been taught to hate and fear in the world. Cannibal, master of the dark arts, somebody who uses death magic casually. Yet Oxivius, time and time again, makes her re-question whether what she's been taught is good and evil actually is good and evil. As Oxivius likes to say, magic's all about intent, love. In this series, Ixtlina and Oxivius will fight angels and demons alike to change the world. After the Baku trilogy, many people reached out to me on Twitter and the socials and in reviews and said they absolutely loved Oxivius, the character. The mysterious necromancer. Where did he come from? What happened that made him the way he is? Who is this guy? Just give us more Oxivius. And so the Soul Stealer trilogy came to light. The second trilogy in the Baku-verse, the Soul Stealer trilogy goes back in time and explores Oxivius in the early days during the fall of the Knights Templar. Soul Stealer origin starts with Oxivius really being found by the Knights Templar And he gets paired up with Marcus, this holy knight who is his polar opposite. These two guys should mix like oil and water. Yet as they struggle and go through all these challenges and uncover these plots and conspiracies, they become the best of friends. And they really challenge each other to growth. The Soul Stealer series overall looks to establish what makes a monster and what makes a man. This is a highly engaging series that goes back and explores exactly who Oxivia's Soul Stealer is. And that wraps up what I have to share today. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to get to know and take a walk through the Baku universe. That brings us from the beginning of time to the end of the apocalypse, if you will. And what does the future hold moving next in that project? The next book in the Baku universe that's being plotted and planned is Nightmare's End. The return and aftermath. What happens to the world after the apocalypse? Thank you once again to our hosts, and I wish everybody a very happy and safe holiday, irregardless of what version you celebrate in the coming month. Peace and light to everybody out there. Have a truly blessed day.
Thank you very much, Reed. And we are back.
All right. Well,
We did it.
We did
25
it.
authors
Yes.
in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad. That's good promotion.
That was.
Yes.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
And all over the place when it comes to what kind of books we have. There was no theme.
No.
It's great.
No, we had a
Yeah.
lot of cross genres,
Mhm.
which is the beauty of indie, right? You can just really
Right. Yeah.
go all over the place, right? So you can just write what you want to read. Whatever. Yeah. So be sure to check all the links down below, right? Go support these authors. Go buy copies of their books this weekend or later in the month. And just, or follow them, give them a follow, do all of those things.
Where can we find you,
Yes.
Andrew
So,
Wizard?
yes.
I mean, you can find me on YouTube or hanging out on Twitter, Discord. I lurk multiple places. If you look under enough crap, you will initially find me. It's kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
If I can't find you, I just keep digging.
Yeah, just keep digging or poke me enough, and I'll probably end up there. Except unless it's TikTok, I won't go to TikTok.
Yes.
If you find me on TikTok, that's not me.
Yes, right.
Okay, good to know. I'll report it if I
Right.
find you over there.
And be sure to check out Nico's channel too, and Kay,
Yep.
and just all these people in the chat over here. So
Yep.
many of them have fantastic channels supporting indie authors. And thank you guys so much for tuning in live and keeping up the conversation over there.
I just pointed out tonight in
Yes.
about 4 hours, less than that, I'm going to be on Beard of Darkness for an interview. So you can catch me
Nice.
there in, if you want to look at my face again.
There you go. You're not sick of hearing.
Always, always.
Excellent. Be sure to check out our books too. Available everywhere. Andrew does audiobooks. So
I do. I
Yeah.
record audiobooks for myself and others.
And others.
So ping
and
me.
others. So yes. So be sure to find us everywhere. And gosh, this was so much fun. Oh,
We're
thank
doing this
you,
again.
Andrew.
You will see us. There they are.
There they
Yeah.
are.
We're gonna probably do this in a couple weeks before Christmas too, so we can get some more pitches from more authors.
Yeah. So
Yay.
if you are an indie author and you want to be a part of this, the indie author community is so amazing.
Yeah.
We love connecting with everybody. Like, look at that, man. we're
That's a
good.
workout.
I'm missing 2 of them.
Stack there. That's right. You are. We'll get you those soon. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
What's left of it.
And go buy indie books.
And go buy indie books.
Spend your money responsibly.
That's right. Yes.
In 99 cent increments.
And free.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
excited
It's
about
basically free. If you read
Yes.
100 times, you didn't spend $100.
No.
You got a bargain. That's what you got.
That's
That's
right. Awesome. All right. We'll talk to you all soon.
Yep, we're gonna do the awkward end of live
Yes.
wave
Ready?
now.
We're all gonna wave. Bye-bye. Happy holidays.